Anyway, guys, let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, essay. Hey, by the way, guys, I'm just gonna warn you now. This stream is gonna be like just watching internet verses, because well, Connor, he does a very good job, gathering up all the information when it comes to a topic, and putting it into a bite-sized video for leeches like me to watch. So yes, we're going to be watching Connor's video about the situation, because again, Glub Shido here, and I'm feeling lazy today. So we're gonna be learning about the Saberspark allegations, video by video. So this is gonna be very entertaining. We got some very, very unique characters that were involved in this story, besides Saberspark himself. By the way, who here is familiar with Saberspark? Do you guys even know what kind of content he makes? Let me show you the type of content Saberspark makes. You see, what he does is he'll take a weird animated movie, right? And then he'll like do weird thumbnails with it. Like, oh my god, the first video from 3 weeks ago is The Uncomfortable World of Censored Cartoons, and it's just a fucking total oh wait, you can't see it. Hang on. Actually, it might be better if you can't see it, but like one of the videos is the uncomfortable, like the thumbnail is the total drama scene where the girl's topless. It's censored, of course. I mean, censored in the show, but like still. Like, this guy just makes, like, the weirdest clickbait thumbnails of all time. And I think that's just how he gets the majority of his views. It's just weird clickbait thumbnails. But I have watched him in the past. I didn't realize he, like, modulated his voice until seeing, what was it? LS Mark does that podcast with his wife. They interviewed him, and it was like really high pitched. Like, yeah, oh my god. He kind of does the Mama Max thing where it's like he just like pitch shifts his voice. But yeah, guys, let's delve into these topics and learn all about SA.
95% about completely unrelated topics and filled it with memes and got a whole bunch of controversy as a result, which ended up having her private everything. Welcome to the internet versus Saberspark.
Are you covering the forgive me, I can't pronounce his YouTube name. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that soon enough. But those are hilarious.
To start, as a preface, everything in this video is allegations. Take it with a grain of salt, and please do not harass anyone involved. But it begins when Brony Fandom tweets out, "Trigger warning, mentions R. The following is a testimony of R by coerced consent between Saberspark and the victim in said testimony. There were 2 isolated incidents, in 2012 and in 2013. This will all be in a video expose by I Love Kim Possible a Lot."
That's their YouTube name. I love Kim Possible a lot. This is the type of caliber of people we're dealing with here. Listen, I'm not I'm trying to be nice this morning. But holy shit, man. Holy shit. I love Kim Possible. We're getting allegations by I Love Kim Possible a lot. Surely that's like a sign that this is all going to go well, right? Surely that's a sign this is all gonna go swimmingly.
Releasing today, and it starts with a screenshot of a story attached where it says, "I became a fan of Saberspark when I was in high school when I found his essay video titled Ballad of the Brony back in 2011. After graduating and turning 18,
he's been doing YouTube since 2011. God damn, we got us an old man here."
Added him on Skype to tell him I was a big fan of his. He added me back almost instantly, and we had a conversation."
Oh my god, Skype. Man, these are old people, man. Bunch of old internet people.
and ending with him giving me his phone number, which was a really big deal to me at the time since this was the first time interacting with any sort of celebrity. I had developed a parasocial crush on him due to being starstruck, which was something that he was aware of. We would talk on Skype and text each other semi-frequently leading up to the first time meeting him. In 2012, I went to my first pony convention. This was my first time ever traveling by—
Oh god, the brony convention. It's a story's never good when it involves bronies, guys. It's never a good story.
myself and was soon after the two of us became friends. When I met up with him in person, he invited me to his hotel room and he showed me the video he was editing on his laptop, causing me to internally geek out. I was really nervous being alone in a hotel room with someone I was a huge fan of and had a crush on, but I tried to play it cool. He was 4 to 5 years older than me, making me feel more nervous and out of place. He would bring up the prospects of the two of us dating and how it didn't feel right for us to do so. After that, he almost immediately initiated making out with me and guided me to his bed.
Listen, we can't date, but we can do other stuff.
In this moment, he did not directly ask me for consent. I was thrown onto his bed and he would insert himself into me. Saberspark was also significantly larger than me as I was an 80-something pound 18-year-old girl, so I physically could not.
Damn, she calling him Big Bag. She calling him Big Bag.
Not to stop him. I felt extremely nervous and uncomfortable because I had never experienced having any sort of intimacy with someone I was not dating before, much less someone I just met. I was very new to meeting people online in general. At that moment, I lay there, disassociating, as it felt very wrong while trying to rationalize it in my head to convince myself it was a safe and normal encounter. He rushed off to clean and finish himself and came back to the bed and offered me a handshake saying, "Friends?" This would cause me
What the fuck? What the fuck? He's just like, yo, I know I just fucking plowed you, but handshake? Friends? Like, okay. Just like imagine, right? You have like an encounter with someone you're attracted to, right? You have an encounter, you guys do the deed. Let's say hypothetically both parties are satisfied with what happened, right? Imagine though they just extend their hand and just like handshake. Friends? Like what the fuck? What the fuck?
For the rest of the events to feel that I was taken advantage of and ashamed of myself for not trying to stop the interaction. Though I tried pretending I was fine to everyone around me. I was and still am demisexual, and being put in that position was not something I wanted. I maintained the friendship until a second occurrence happening at a completely different PonyCon in 2013.
Sperm handshake all around, bro. Oh my god.
This time we met in a public space but had no one around and talked for a while. He kept bringing up the prospects of us starting a relationship, but how it felt wrong. He would grab my hand saying how it felt so right, only to push my hand away saying, "But so wrong." I had decided that my crush on him was something
Oh my god, yeah. The relationship with you would be amazing, but it'd be so wrong. What's so wrong about it, Sabersparks? What's so wrong about it? They're an adult. What the fuck? Why are you trying to be weird? Allegedly. Remember, this is a twit longer about a situation from like 10 plus years ago. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying the victim's lying. Not saying that they're telling the truth. I'm just saying, guys, make sure keep an open mind. Keep an open mind so far.
I needed to get over because I felt that my emotions were being toyed with. He then suggested going to a more public space around others, and we went into an elevator to go to the lobby of the PonyCon hotel. As soon as the door closed, Saberspark forcefully shoved me against the wall and shoved his tongue down my throat. It scared me and actually hurt.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Is he trying to create like his own like movie scene? Soon. That's like a scene out of like a romance novel. It's like as soon as the elevator doors closed, he pinned me against the wall, started giving me tongue. It's like, what the fuck?
Triggering another attack of disassociation. Once again, he did not ask for consent when throwing me into this situation. Once the doors opened and people were present, this led me to feel very embarrassed. He got off me and took my hand.
I will say, man, maybe like, I don't know, especially if like, again, if what they're saying here is true, hypothetically, right? I don't know, like usually like you can tell with body language whether or not someone's like familiar like if someone's like okay with you doing something. or like, I don't know, the whole like pitting someone against the wall kind of thing and kissing them. Usually that's like something you do when like you're like very familiar with the person, and like, wow, it seems like these guys talked a lot online. Seems like they met up very few times, so it's just like, I don't know, kind of weird. Sabersparks trying to recreate 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of, oh, 50 Shades of no. Like everyone said too, he would have been a lot less subscribers than he does now. It just seems weird too. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird situation for sure so far.
Hand and guided me towards the stairs to go back down to where we just were and into a men's restroom where he pulled down his pants and guided my hands and head to perform oral S on him. I was afraid of denying him because of past experiences with SA, so I did it to get it over with without wanting to cause a problem.
Okay, past experiences with SA. Is she talking about how like Sabersparks SA'd her, or it's like other people have SA'd her? Either way, it's awful, right? Either way, it's awful.
Would finish on my face, apologize profusely, and then offered the same handshake as he did at the con I initially met him.
The offering of the handshake is so weird. It's like, hey, I know you just fucking blew me, but handshake, friends. Like, dude, you know what? Next time I have someone over, I'm just gonna like, handshake. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Saying friends. Despite pretending I was fine, I had slowly begun pulling away from Saberspark. I cried that night while staying with a friend, but waited for that friend to fall asleep so no one could hear me, and I would cry for months, feeling ashamed of myself for putting myself in a compromising situation with someone I hardly knew. Bernie continues her post by saying, this person wishes to remain anonymous, though can be reached for questions at thesunmouse5. This story, as well as more, will be included in the previously...
You see, a lot of people have been speculating on who the accuser is. I don't think it's been revealed yet, but I've heard people predict that it's like another like animation / brony YouTuber, which I wouldn't be surprised by. That's one hell of a handshake. I know, right? Well, fucking hell, man. Everyone is acting like he proved his innocence. Saber's response video was utter dog shit. All he did was vehemently deny any SA happened. Well, it's like it's those types of situations. It's weird because this is what from what like 10 plus years ago, right? So like you've had like a casual hookup several times with a person, right, who's now claiming SA. Again, I'm not trying to say the victim's lying. I'm not trying to say the victim is wrong or right. But it's like this is a situation from 10 plus years ago. So like unless like they saved everything from back then, I like it, I don't know. It's you can't prove a negative, right? You can't like LOL might be one of the fastest way to get a person out of the house. It's been confirmed from what I know from the op block or Diesel, one of the two. Lord, if I remember though, lol. Also, good morning, Blue Jay. Hope you're doing well.
Mentioned a video expose by I Love KP a Lot releasing later today, and the statement continues by saying, I had always felt taken advantage of by him and tried being friendly and pretending nothing was wrong because it was all I knew how to do. I would blame myself for the interactions for years, only opening up to a close few people, questioning if consent was implied because of my crush and unwillingness and fear to outright try to stop the advances because of how uncomfortable I felt. I understand that there is a possibility that he felt consent was implied because he knew I had a crush on him. However, he not once asked me for consent directly, and I was instead thrown into these SWL encounters, usually very suddenly. There were no discussions about the power dynamic between us as a popular content creator and a fan at any time, and my parasocial connection to him and not
power dynamic discussions is more of like a recent thing, right? So like I doubt like what were these hookups 2011, 2012? I doubt that was like in a zeitgeist at the time. It was just like, hey, I'm this guy online, you know, who has a couple like 1,000 followers, and you're one of those couple 1,000 followers. Let's hook up, you know.
getting someone I was a fan of to hate me if I rejected him, leaving me afraid to stop his advances. Over time, I grew increasingly distant and would eventually end contact completely. I don't feel safe enough to fully come forward because I don't want his fans or friends or even him to harass me or contact me publicly. I wish to stay anonymous so I can avoid the anxiety and stress of being targeted by either him, himself, his friends, and especially his fans, as Saberspark has over 2 million subscribers, and even sharing my story at all has me feeling really afraid. I have seen other instances of Saberspark using his enormous platform to confront people online he has had conflict with and heard. I've also witnessed several instances of his friends attempting to justify him and his other actions. I was not made aware of his jokes about consent and his recent behavior involving Chris until only recently, and it left my stomach in knots.
Wait, his recent behavior involving Chris, what does that mean? Is there another Saberspark drama that I'm not aware of?
Please ask above all else for my privacy to be respected. I don't wish to publicly defend my personal experience and just wished to share my experience. End of testimony. Brony ends their thread by saying, please stop relishing in Saber's demise in the replies to our testimony. Relish away in the proper venues, this is not one. The previously mentioned video might no longer be released today. I will say more when I know more. For now, the focus should be on the victim's story. Also, using caution is fine. Dismissing allegations this serious outright isn't. And not all of your questions are fair ones. Metabro replies, 12 years ago and only now it's being brought up? And Brony says, that is what they said, yes. Did you have a question related to that? And Dustimus Prime replies, not trying to defend this, but waiting so long on top of it being dubious consent at best just feels like somebody trying to stir trouble. Saberspark is absolutely the type of loser that would think a girl in his hotel room was into him, and she didn't say no at any point. Robin replies, not trying to defend this, he says, as he proceeds to defend the dude's actions full-heartedly. And Dustimus replies, no, dude should have read the social cues and slowed things down, but this is literally just describing a...
No, yeah, it's like, okay, you know, if you want to hook up with someone, you know, you gotta let it like a slow burn, you know, at least put on a movie, you know, maybe some nice music, you know, let the mood take over. Don't just fucking get handsy and just like, man, like, come on, man, come on. Not much romantic, that Saberspark.
A bad date. He didn't force himself on her. He probably thought she wanted it because he's a dumbass. There needs to be at least a little bit of accountability. And Robin replies, if you consider a man forcing himself onto a person who's very obviously not into it whatsoever a bad date, then you're a fucking idiot and I hope you never come near a woman ever, let alone procreate. Fuck off with that victim blaming loser. Donovich says in our members only Discord, just when I thought that Saberspark's worst crime was being a furry.
You see, that's a true crime, is that he's a furry. Wait, if he's a furry, what's his persona? I mean, like, it's like, I don't want to know, but at the same time, you know, it's a curiosity. It's like you can't look away from like a car crash, you know. I just gotta know.
Find out that not only did he defend a predator, but now also has RL.
Wait, he defended a predator? Who did he defend? Holy shit! Who did Sabersparks defend? I need to know this lore.
Allegations against him. Looks like it's time for an ultimate R review. Redman replies to the original post by saying, why is a part of me not surprised? Like I feel like Saberspark was going to be exposed for this.
Don't pounce on her like a wild animal. That's what I'm saying, man. You got, okay, if you want to like woo a girl, you know, like I said, put on a movie, put your arm around her shoulder, you know, let the mood take over. Be a little romantical about it, you know. You also defended Black Gray Phone, who has evidence stacked against him. I have no idea who that is. I'm just assuming it's another furry.
Eventually. I've seen so much controversy around famous YouTubers, Twitters, and others that if there's anything I learn, there's always more shit going on with them under the surface. And Brony replies, they still exist when the cameras aren't on. It doesn't instantly mean they're doing something awful, but what you see of them rarely ever includes what they would want you to see.
You see, this is why I'm upfront about how much of an asshole I am, so that way no one's shocked.
Ezra replies to OP by saying, why is the victim barely coming out now? Do you people hear yourselves? It's not exactly something that's easy to handle. Meatball quote tweets Brandy with these images in the caption. Someone opens up about their horrendous experiences with a content creator and this is how people react. Showing someone saying, Saberspark exposed? This is the greatest day of my life.
This is
and
funny.
another one, Saberspark is a artist. Sending all sympathies to
What the dude, this is so fucked up. What the fuck?
victim. And another meme saying, fuck off forever, Saberspark. 1 second into a Saberspark video, I have a hole in my brain. And finally, Saberspark gets Sabersparked and everyone fucking explodes. And Gabriella replies, and don't forget that when someone you disliked for being annoying gives you a good reason to dislike them, like, please read the room. Not Deirdre says,
I found this YouTuber slightly annoying, and now that they're accused of rape, I have a good reason to hate them now.
Saying sending all sympathy to the victims after pretty much expressing you're happy they're victims is especially fucking vile. Lan quote tweets the original allegations by saying, 12 years ago, no evidence, anonymous person. I'm not defending Saberspark or anything, I don't like him either, and I'm all for believing victims first, but bro, how can you expect me to not take this with a grain of salt?
It is, I'll tell you what, it is a weird situation because they don't have evidence. It's just like their anonymous word. So it's like it's ultimately it's up to like the individual person whether or not they want to believe that kind of stuff. For me as like a content creator who has seen a lot of stories, I do have to like unfortunately take it with a the smallest grain of salt because not only is there anonymity, this is from like 12 years ago. We just have word of mouth, and like this is the issue with Saberspark too. Is unless I'm wrong and he shows evidence in his video, it's his word of mouth too. So it's like I can't really believe anything he's saying either. You know what I mean? And granted, you know, it's not like nowadays, because like again, this was from like 10 plus years ago. It's not like people had the idea of like screenshotting everything so that way they could like later prove what happened, right? I'm sure these were like from like their point of view, these were like completely like quote unquote like innocent conversations that they were having, and they didn't think of like screenshotting them because that's not what you did back then. Yeah, it's a he said she said situation, which is like unfortunately like those are like the worst types of situations, you know. Because ultimately it comes down to, well, do you want to believe the victim? Do you want to believe the person being accused? Me personally, I'm just having fun here. You know, I want to make some jokes.
And Yorkley replies, I'm not defending Saberspark, but... And Lan says, you can't label me as a Saberspark defender just because I have a nuanced view on the situation. That's not how this works. Bloombox quote tweets Bernie by saying, it's very ironic for Saberspark to make these videos on creators being creeps while defending a creep and possibly...
Wait, he made like commentary videos? What the fuck? Okay, sicko, creep, predator. I had no idea Sabersparks made like commentary videos. Is this like on a secondary channel or is this on his main channel? Holy fuck.
Possibly being one himself, attaching thumbnails from Saberspark's channel. Amy New quote tweets Brony by saying, I have personally been friends with the victim for over 10 plus years. I was at cancer.
And like this, and like I understand the anonymity because like again, like Sabersparks is a big creator. This could lead to a lot of harassment. I get it, but it's like the anonymity, and then it's like a bunch of random like bronies are coming at me like I've known the victim for years now, and it's I don't know, a weird situation.
A lot of gardens and witness them both together. If my words mean anything, I believe them. I have nothing to gain from this. I just want my friend to be believed. I've seen people outright say they deserve this, and I'm just
okay. Holy shit! Anyone saying that they deserved it is fucking wild, man. My thing is just like, was this consensual? Was this not consensual? And I want to lean towards the victim because it's like, well, if the person's remaining completely anonymous, there's no internet clout to be gained. But also, too, like, they might not necessarily be after clout. They might just want to, like, destroy someone who, like, they don't like anymore, which is, like, a weird situation. The problem, too, is because of how it came out, which was the cause of I love Kim Possible, yeah, that person, and their video was horrible where Saber was only added at the last minute. Yeah, it was about some other guy. Nope, he made a video covering cartoon creators that turned out to be pedophiles, and it was only because she didn't like that he didn't fire a guy because the guy made a joke about her over a decade ago. Nope. Saberspark's made a video covering cartoon creators. Oh yeah, okay, read that one twice. Okay.
I'm just so sick to my stomach seeing the pro R comments all day. It was second MLP convention. It's where I met my now husband. Conversations like that are why I always
Dude, fucking imagine meeting your spouse at a fucking brony convention. How weird is that fucking marriage? Listen, love is love, and love takes all forms, you know. But like, holy shit, imagine how fucking weird a brony marriage is. Do you think they have like My Little Ponies all over their house? Do you think they replace children with like little figurines of ponies?
offer to staff when I go to cons. It's a lot. Things I've seen in person are why I speak out so much. I just wish I could do more. I wish I could have done more. Then some people asked the Sun Mouse questions, which is the account that is allegedly the victim, when Alex tweets out, "Hi, if you're able to answer
and
this."
you see this is like weird because it's like, well, we want the victim to remain anonymous, you know, but then they link an account, which granted, I don't know if it's the actual like person or if it's just like the brony who brought the allegations, and it's just like a different account. I don't know. It's weird to link any questions that they have to a specific Twitter account. Love is love. I'm sure R. Kelly would agree. The only thing that keeps being weird to me is the first situation wasn't consensual. Why would you keep talking to the person and meet up with them again? Okay, I know that might be getting a little weird. Well, it's like, I don't know, psychologically. It's like, I don't know. I've had people who like, oh yeah, this, like they didn't realize till much later on that like what this person was doing was awful, you know? Like I don't know. These types of situations are kind of complicated. Because like psychologically I won't say she was completely obsessed with him, but obviously she was infatuated with him, right? And so like she might at the time she might have just brushed off this behavior and was like, well, you know, I like him and stuff, so it's like I'm sure this is like only like a weird one-time thing. But I don't know, like these types of situations are complicated. Victims, obviously more often than not, when they're in the middle of the situation, are not in the right headspace because of their obsession with the person who is doing these things to them. But yeah. The Sun Mouse 5 person is leveling the allegations, so it's like directly their account, which is super fucking weird. Super fucking weird. Yeah, we want the person to remain anonymous, but like here's a Twitter account where you can harass them. You know, it's, I don't know, I don't think that's a good move.
This question,
I think what they should have done was be like, hey, if you have any questions, just tell me them, and then I'll ask so and so. You know.
do you have some sort of proof that you met Saber in the form of text logs or something of the like without it showing who you are? And the Sun Mouse says, "Hello, I'm sorry for not responding."
They are also a content creator, aren't they, Mister? Or am I remember? The speculation is that they're another content creator.
Sooner. Skype unfortunately wiped every chat log. I do have proof of us both attending these two events in our association. However, it would show who I am. And Okidoki says,
and that's the problem. And that's the problem is that like, okay, the evidence you do have kind of incriminates you on like who you are, which is like, I don't know. In that instance, it's kind of weird. Do you keep your anonymity so that way you don't get harassed, or do you show the actual proof that you at least attended a con with this person? Which, by the way, I believe that they attended it. I believe fully that they attended the con. You know, I don't think that part of the story is like up for debate at all. But obviously, what's up for debate is whether or not the encounters were completely consensual or not. Which, if we're taking the victim's word for it, just sounds like the Sabersparks was a fucking horn dog and was just like, let me just jump into this. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, you see, this is why when you hook up, guys, you gotta act like a gentleman still. You know, you gotta set the mood. Can't just like fucking jump into it. Holy shit, man. You know.
you know, you can just
make the lady feel a little special.
Like censor your face, right?
It just seems like the guy had like his first taste of like internet fame, and it was just like, oh, I got this like fan who wants to like has a crush on me, and he took that way too. If we're taking her word for it, it seems like he was just like he got his first bit of internet clout. He had a fan actively like text him and like admit that they had feelings for him, or sorry, not feelings, like a crush on him. And then he was just like, well, let me just jump right into this. Like, holy shit, man.
Right? And the Queen of Mean replies, there are still people who could recognize her by her body/outfit or recognize the setting. And the Sun Mouse says this, people could identify me. I know more people would believe me if my identity was revealed, but I just can't handle it emotionally. And Alex,
yeah, you see, that's the difficult thing. It's just that surprise, surprise, most people who are in these cartoon and like brony fan bases are not like the most mentally stable. And so, like, I mean, and again, I mean, I can't necessarily blame her for wanting to be anonymous because, you know, Sabersparks is a big content creator. And so, like, obviously not all fans, but, like, the diehard hardcore fans are going to, like, harass her, right? And that's just, unfortunately, that's the reality of, like, when you try to, like, tell your story online is that you're going to get assholes who are, like, who question, the validity and like harass, not just question, but like harass you, right? But you see, like, my thing isn't like to question, like, my thing isn't questioning whether or not they went to the conventions. I believe they went to the conventions, but the thing is just like how consensual were the encounters? You know what I mean? Okay, Phil DeFranco. What the fuck? Why are you calling me Phil DeFranco? That's worse than calling me a slur. Mysterious K. You might get that mod wrench taken away from you.
Says, is there any form of evidence like a con badge you have? Can censor out the details. And the Sun Mouse replies with this image in the caption, about 5 years ago, I finally tossed all my con badges because I was moving and had too much stuff. I did find some emails appear where I was inquiring about talking to a guest there. And it's emails from 2012, September 18th, 17th, and the 26th from them at Canterlot Gardens, which is where the event was held. This is where the first incident happened. If I recall correctly, someone has pointed out that he confirmed his attendance to this event in his recent video. Then Brave Branch posted the tweet we just read on the our YouTube drama subreddit.
Let's jump in. Let's just jump into it. Oh my god, I didn't realize what I was doing there. No.
Ending it by saying, we finally get some evidence provided by the alleged victim of Saberspark. And Frenzy Effect replies, did they actually show the emails? Because as much as I dislike Saberspark, what the hell kind of proof is this? And Megapanda25 replies, it's really not. So I got a sneaking suspicion these accusations are going to crash and burn pretty quickly. And Rocket Jenny says, something tells me this person is doing it for clout. Even though Saber is in hot water, I doubt he'll go as far as R-ing someone, which isn't his character. Final Candy 7007 says, we finally get some evidence. What's this evidence? And Goro the Ninja says,
and you see, this is why I like internet versus, because you also get Reddit comments as well, not just Twitter comments.
At best, all this gives us is an idea of when and where the first encounter between Spark and her took place. Info that really should have been included in the initial statements. Mundane Fold says, what does this prove? This has no context and could be anything from business correspondence to a fan reaching out. Until I see actual evidence, I'm not buying it. I don't want another quite a situation wherein people blindly believe unverified and unsubstantiated claims. Hexmerion says in our members only Discord, after reading the screenshots in the Twitter post, we can't conclude anything. I actually used to watch and like Saberspark's content around 2020 and 2021, and he always seemed like a fine person. Definitely a cringe kind of guy, but was never on the same level as someone like Joe Cat, the guy who made liking women sound gay. If the victim is not willing to put her name behind this allegation and actually come out to make the claim, then this is worthless. If Saberspark responds with anything but a blatant admission like Dr. Disrespect, then this is just a battle of hearsay. This allegedly took place.
No, yeah, unless Saberspark's just like, I did in fact assault that woman in 2011. Like, unfortunately, it's not going to go anywhere. You also sometimes get Instagram comments. Ooh,
so long ago that any evidence of this occurring is probably gone now. This feels like this is just going to be a waste of time. The weekly slop topic for T channels where nothing will come of it. Then the video from I Love KP a Lot, which was mentioned in the initial allegations, drops, and as it's premiering and after it was posted, a lot of people gave a bunch of negative feedback to the video.
Dude, the video was so bad, even the people who like fully believe that Sabersparks did it was like, holy shit, you made an awful video.
Such as Minty, who screenshots it and posted. So hot take, I think this video should have been split up into two, one for DA Games and one for Saberspark. And a video with serious allegations most definitely shouldn't have had so many jokes and sketch comedy in it. Courtney, who is in the video, is being
so this is the thing, right? Like obviously in our community, we're gonna make jokes, we're gonna poke fun at stuff, but like these people, like this community, like the cartoon, like it's borderline art commentary, but not really, but like the brony stuff, right? Like these people take these situations very, very seriously. And like I Love Kim Possible, which is I can't believe is like the actual username. Holy shit. I wish we knew. Honestly, you know what? Hot take. I wish we knew the person's actual name so that way I can just say that and not I Love Kim Possible. But I think I Love Kim Possible should have known how the community would have reacted to their fucking skits. I'm just a funny guy. I'm just a funny gal.
Extremely unprofessional to a CSA victim who is offering a genuine criticism and concern about the video being a premiere. And she attaches chat messages of a super
Saber be like, I did have sexual relations with. Whoa, Mr. Gamer, they were a minor. They were 18. They were 18. If they hooked up, it was consensual. Call her Courtney. Just say KP. John. No, I'm going to say I Love Kim Possible.
Kirby lover in the chat saying, I just said this shouldn't be a premiere. That's it. I'm not discrediting the video. I'm not discrediting the evidence. I'm open to hearing it. And Courtney replies, then don't watch it while it's a premiere.
I don't know. She seems like a
says, again, it being a premiere comes off to me as a CSA victim as making the situation a spectacle. That's it. All I said.
It is a goddamn spectacle. What do you expect? I'm sorry, but when okay, this is not me. Just to clarify, this is not me victim blaming. But when you and you know what, it doesn't even have to be an essay story, okay? Whenever you tell the internet a story about yourself or like a situation about yourself, if people find it entertaining enough or funny enough, people are going to make a goddamn spectacle of it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's the reality of the internet, unfortunately.
Twisting my feelings into just complaining is really
Fun fact, they wanted to do a Q&A after too. What the fuck?
Sensitive. That's really disrespectful.
What would the Q&A be? So like when you made that pedophile joke about Saberspark, you know, what was the inspiration behind that?
Replies, okay. And then someone asks, Courtney, is there a reason you're being so hostile? And she says, it's my baseline, smiley face. And Super Kirby Lover replies, if this is how genuine criticism is responded to, then I feel so sorry for any CSA victim that came to you, Courtney, or I Love KP. This is so horrific. And Courtney replies, okay, this is a spectacle, so I'm going to be a part of it, is how you sound right now, at Super Kirby Lover. Minty continues the thread showing this portion of the video that says, we are not going to tell you to subscribe, because that would be in poor taste considering the subject matter.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell for all notifications. By the way, guys, okay. Speaking of shilling, we're only we're only like 40 subs away from 3K. So guys, if you want to like share this live stream and share all the videos to friends and family, make sure they subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications so that way they know when we're live.
And captions it, half of this video was already practically in poor taste. This shouldn't have been advertised as a Saberspark video. This was 70% DA Games, 25% Lily Orchard for some reason, and 5% Saber.
Why Lily Orchard for some reason? What the fuck? They got alligator. Wait, is Lily Orchard like the really creepy one? I think like Gamer from Mars made a video on them, or June the King. If I'm thinking of the right person.
Coming in for the Saber allegations, there didn't seem to be anything new you wouldn't find from Brony's thread. Chris Chan, yes, really, coming into the chat and everyone going crazy over it for 20 minutes was—
Wait, Chris Chan showed up? What the fuck? Chris Chan's watching this? Why include that in your video? I don't know.
funnier than any of the actual attempted jokes in the video, by the way. Little Froky65 says in our members only Discord, women—
Wait, what the fuck is that thumbnail? What ruined Saberspark and DA games? Re-upload. Who's the black guy?
should be banned from making videos on sensitive topics. They are simply too emotional. Attaching the archive that is linked in the description. And Willie replies, I fear that if I click on this video, I will get multiple STDs.
I think that like it's not only that you get the like STDs. I think you get a bit of like the tism too. You know what I mean?
Then when this thread, as well as a whole bunch of other criticism, went viral, KP makes a tweet where she says, thanks for the video feedback. I'll enlist it and it will be retooled.
I'll enlist it and retool it.
And Singing Guy replies, why is it unlisted though? And KP says, there was criticism about the tone and I found it fair, so I'm gonna fix it. However, she continues to post when she then privates the video and puts out this.
I've heard a lot of concerns about the recent video and want to acknowledge the parts of it that didn't land the way I intended. While it was reviewed by several people, including SA survivors, who were comfortable with the tone, I understand that other people's experiences are very different, and that's valid. This was my first time covering a topic of this nature, and I'm still learning on how to handle serious subject matters. First off, you should change your name from like I Love Kim Possible if you're gonna do like fucking commentary videos. I'm just saying. First time covering this, I'm still learning how to handle serious subject matters with the right level of care. I've taken the video down and I'm considering how to approach it more thoroughly if it's revised. The intent was never to diminish anyone's story or experience. I thank you for those who provided feedback. I appreciate the chance to make the changes necessary to give proper respect to the material discussed.
Statement that says, I've heard the concerns about the recent video and wants to acknowledge that parts of it didn't land the way I intended. While it was reviewed by several people, including CSA survivors who were comfortable with the tone, I now understand that others experienced it very differently. Subject to revise. I appreciate his first time covering a topic of this nature. To be fair, I didn't get to watch the original video before it got taken down, but didn't you also cover the Lily Orchard stuff? SA is sort of the topic of both of those videos, right? And KP replies, I consider the Lily video different because Lily was covered many times before, so that I wasn't present.
Oh my god, Lily, you see guys, Lily Orchard was already covered a bunch of times. So there was the chance of me getting information on was very low, but you see, this is why, like, if you're not comfortable being, or like if you're not smart, if you're not smart enough, you should never be the one to break the story. Okay, I'm a goddamn idiot. Okay, you're never gonna see me break a story. Okay, because I'm gonna get that shit wrong. Okay, you gotta know your limitations.
Presenting information for the first time. And Odinoko replies, and you thought a long-winded, highly edited, and full of skits rant was the way to do it, ignoring the problem with tone. This also meant you delayed the spread of very important knowledge that should be ostensibly made aware to people for a month. Then Joey posts in the YouTube drama subreddit that I Love KP's video got unlisted due to the backlash, and Nick Taigai replies, the video itself is just a giant mess. She treats the terrible allegations against the people in the video like actually shit, adding in a bunch of jokes and stupid reference humor, which for a video talking about stuff like R, P, and anti-Semitism is fucking ridiculous. And Imro knows that. So
basically, what I'm hearing is they took the format of like a cartoon review, and then they made that into an essay video. That's hilarious.
As me personally, if you're gonna accuse someone of R, it should be handled with utmost seriousness. She took it seriously with the Lily video, so why not also do the same here? An Anime Trash replied,
apparently KP was friends with Lily for a while after the allegations came out about what she did to her sister. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I think she's probably using someone's actual story for clout, which is disgusting. This boy Animates replies, I can't even. How do you riddle what it should be a serious video with memes and not expect massive backlash? And Final Candy replies, they were clearly a Mama Max fan. Then over on the actual
Mama Max reference. Let's go.
Archive, some people left comments, such as VeggieBLT that says, holy shit, the audio from the Eggman bit is literally me from a cosplay video. Just saying right now, I am not associated with any of this. And why the hell did they use my audio instead of the original? Kayla Says also leaves a comment saying, hi there, I provided the voiceover in the beginning for this video. I've gotten some questions about this.
Wait, they hired people to do voiceover for their fucking essay video? What the fuck?
I did a voice read for KP, who I'm mutuals with. They were looking for a VA and I offered. Didn't know what it was for and I'm not familiar with anyone involved. They gave me a trigger warning script to read and I recorded it. That's all I know. I was not
Imagine, right? You're just like you're a voice actor and you're trying to look for work, and then you see a YouTuber is trying to find people for a video, and then you get involved in a fucking essay video.
paid. I had no parts in this video's creation and I am genuinely out of the loop on whatever controversy is happening. Timmy Sweet replies, I can see why she deleted it. Question Blowman's quotes part of the video where she says, for some reason people think I'm unqualified to do this, and replies, correct ma'am. Brave branch post on the YouTube drama subreddit. Saberspark seems to be deleting comments commenting about the accusations. I checked the comments on his latest video.
I know. You see, like, the whole like deleting comments thing, it is like I'm not comfortable anymore accusing people of doing that, because like, especially like depending on how they type it, YouTube is very very censor happy with like YouTube comments and stuff. Like, you could type something out and it will be auto hidden, you know what I mean? So like, I'm not comfortable accusing people of deleting comments anymore.
And I saw a lot of people talking about the accusations, but once I checked on it again, all of them were gone. Space Fluttershy replied,
You probably won't believe this, but June the King provided voiceover in the video. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
This isn't surprising.
No
Any comments about him defending Black Griffin have been getting wiped for months.
Not gonna lie, you'd be a good for the voiceover for a victim. Oh my fucking god. And then they approached them and they essayed them. That's gonna be the voiceover. That's gonna be the voice.
Months now, at least. This boy animate says, I understand him not wanting to live stream at this time, but if he's deleting comments, that's extra sketchy. And Player Sarah replies, how so? If he leaves the comments up there, his general audience starts dropping because they think he is guilty. Plus, based on the evidence we currently have, which is bordering on sweet fuck all.
How did June the King get involved in this? If that's true, that's fucking funny.
It's all just hearsay and rumors. I'm inclined to believe that it's all bollocks until we actually see something substantial.
It's all
shout out to
bollocks.
Our tier 3 members, internet representatives Akiko and Salsao. Thank you guys so much.
All right. So that's the first video. We got more, guys. There's more to the Saberspark story. It's a never-ending fun fest of SA. It's just amazing. It's amazing, guys. It's awesome. It's so fucking awesome. Internet versus Saberspark's accusers. This is gonna be fun.
And you on.
This is gonna be fun. This video is a little longer, so buckle in, boys and girls. Grab a drink if you haven't already. Maybe grab some snacks. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for all notifications. And if you're feeling extra generous, become a member today for just 99 cents. Oh no, I remember what he did. Poor June. June the King. Poor June.
In part 1 of the series, we went over the initial allegations levied against Saberspark by an anonymous Twitter user, also briefly covering the video that I Love Kim Possible a Lot put out on the situation, which caused her to get so much backlash she had to delete it. However, the story with the Saberspark's accusers seems to go a lot deeper, with Brony Fandones, the guy who posted the original accusation, going on long tangents on Twitter, even—
oh my fucking god. Not the Twitter tangent.
Leaking DMs between him and KP. Plus, KP herself is being accused of various things, such as being friends with Chris Chan, which is why some—
is that why Chris Chan was in the premiere chat? Because they're friends?
Say that he showed up in her live video premiere on the Saberspark allegations. And there's even—
okay, guys. Okay, this is the question, though. If you had the chance to pretend to be Chris Chan's friend to talk to him, would you do it? I feel like most people would say no, but there's a morbid few who'd be like, yes, I'll pretend to be friendly with Chris Chan so that I can get all the weird stories.
Speculation about who this anonymous accuser is, with one Twitter user claiming who they believe the accuser to be actually has victims themselves. Welcome to the internet.
Holy shit, it's victimception.
versus Saberspark's accusers. Again, as said in the first parts, everything in this video is just allegations. Please take them with a grain of salt and do not.
Yes. Allegations, guys. Allegations are not evidence, by the way. Allegations are not evidence. Take the stories with a grain of salt.
Not harass anyone involved. It starts when Sai quote tweets a tweet that they made screenshotting the thumbnail of the video that I Love KP a Lot made, where they say,
what the fuck is this? Okay, so like, okay. I think this is supposed to be Sabersparks. I have no idea. Is this supposed to be Lily Orchard? I have no idea who these two are.
Considering KP made this video with a premiere with an innocuous title and a sensationalist thumbnail that has her persona as the center focus, I'm going to guess proper.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck if it was a premiere or not. I don't give a single fuck. Okay, a premiere, it's like an interaction for the chat. I don't know. From like a YouTuber's perspective, I truly do not give a fuck if it was a premiere or not. The point is whether or not if it was a good video, and from the looks of it, it was not a good video.
Avenues were never even considered here. And they continue saying, I worry that these allegations I Love Kim Possible a Lot is bringing against Saberspark never went through any proper channels for justice because someone had clicks and clout in mind. And they quote themselves again saying, you can't tell me I Love Kim Possible a Lot isn't doing this for clout when she has shit like this in the same video. She's exposing allegations of serious SWOL crimes. Thanks to RockDS in my Discord for clipping this, and they attached this clip.
Announcement! Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch-ass.
Is this the audio the one guy was talking about?
He pissed on my wife. That's right. He said his dick was this big, and I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small fucking dick. It's the size of this walnut, but way fucking smaller.
They continue.
You know what the worst part about this is? It wasn't even funny. Like, if you're gonna include skits in your video about SA, at least make them funny. That wasn't funny whatsoever. It was just a shitty edit.
Saying, as I suspected, I Love Kim Possible a Lot attacked these serious allegations onto a video she was already making about Saberspark. She knew about these allegations for a month.
You see, if she was funny, no one would give a fuck about the skits. They weren't funny was the problem.
But hey, it was
hire a writer if you're gonna do comedy like this.
Really important that she edited into her big video first, and it attaches a chat message from KP saying, most of the video was done before the Saber SA victim. And finally, they quoted themselves one last time saying, I wasn't meaning to live tweet this, but Chris Chan, the literal motherfucker, is in KP's chat. Someone she...
That's gonna be his forever internet title. Chris Chan, the literal motherfucker.
Is known to interact with favorably. And it's Chris saying, I feel like shit this has gone on for far too long. We even have people in power who are just as bad and worse.
Dude, I need Chris Chan to like comment on like commentary topics. I need Chris Chan to start making commentary videos. Imagine how fun that would be to get Chris Chan's input on like the Mama Mac situation or the H3 drama. Dude, that would be so fucking funny.
And it just makes me feel more than sick. If you don't believe me, Chris Chan has drawn fan art of her, and she's interacted with Chris.
Dude, he's drawn fan art? Let's fucking go.
This on Twitter and seemingly.
That's how you know you've made it. It's when someone makes fan art of you.
In private, quoting a post from 2019 where KP asks Chris Chan and says, check your email, yo, and then attaching this image here of two ponies that says to I Love Kim Possible a Lot from Christine Chandler. And it's one saying, you are a cool pony, KP. You've totally been through your share of life too. Congratulations, you've made it. And KP responds, thank you, Nightstar. And the date is 2017. And finally, they attach this image with the caption, most of the time it's Chris replying to I Love Kim Possible a Lot, but she's never blocked. And it's KP asking, question, what is your personal definition for an unforgivable mistake someone has made? Do you think that person is/isn't able to cope? And Chris Chan replies, in my personal experiences, regardless whether or not it was directly or indirectly intentional, I feel that an unforgivable misdeed involves deception, dishonesty, black...
Yeah, Chris Chan, imagine an unforgivable misdeed. Surely you have no experience with that whatsoever.
Blackmail and lack of better wisdom, kindness, tugging, and even violent intentions. Do not fake relationships, people. The backlash...
I'm sorry, that's too funny. Christian telling people not to fake relationships.
From that thread plus a whole bunch more then leads Brony Fandom to the person who posted the original accusation to tweet out, "I didn't want to explain this or talk about this yet because I didn't want to make this situation about myself, but I feel too many people will not focus unless I do. So I'm going to explain why KP was initially involved. About a month ago, Saber's victim wanted to reach out to me with their story. They saw that I was managing to get the word out on Griffin's actions, and with
Oh, is that how you pronounce it? Griffin. The music brownie.
how Saber is his good friend and partially tied, it led them to be more confident in coming forward with their own story. At the time, I was handling a lot, including being S. The topic is triggering for Sophie on a personal level. And for context, Sophie is one of the girls involved in the Griffin situation. Unfortunately, covering her story at that time wasn't something we could handle. I did, however, know that KP was already working on a video about him. Before this year, I had never had a conversation with KP. All I knew about her was that years ago, I remembered hearing she paid her team in exposure. As more and more was coming out about
the relationship they had with her mom was definitely real, allegedly.
the Black Griffin, she started responding to it too. Her and others on her team reached out to me asking me to help cover DA Games. I told them I knew nothing about DA Games, was already
Oh god, imagine if Christian got a Fanta soda sponsorship. Oh no.
very preoccupied, and it felt very out of my Brony fandom-centric wheelhouse. KP had a room in her server for people to talk about DA Games. I mentioned that because she made
Okay, who is DA Games? Hang on, let me look this up real quick. ADHD brain here. I gotta look up who DA Games is. DA Games. They look like a fairly popular YouTuber. Looks like they mostly do FNAF stuff. Or like their popular stuff is FNAF. No, it looks like their most popular thing was like a bending in the Ink Machine song. Okay. Oh, they do songs. Okay. Okay. Now what is what's their latest video? From a month ago, and it got like 58K views on a channel with over 2 million subs. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like they fell off. We drew video game characters from memory. It went horrible. Okay. All right. This looks like a really generic YouTuber. If they did anything bad, shame on them. Shame on them.
Made another room for people to discuss Black Griffin. I joined her server because obviously I knew a lot about the subject, and I thought I could help resolve any misconceptions and add insights if necessary. In the call they had, I joined and was informed
DA Games created Baldi's Basics. Oh, he's that guy. Damn.
on the DA Games situation. Later, more privately, I was informed on the coming video on Saberspark and KP's own first-hand experience with him. Both with DA Games and Saberspark, there are actually serious problems, and those serious problems were all I was told. So when we were not able to personally handle Saber's victim's story, and I was aware of someone else already doing a video on him specifically with their own first-hand experience to further validate, it made a lot of sense to suggest they reach out to KP. We were not involved any farther. I did not pitch this to KP. I suggested the victim talk to her, and until a week and a half ago, that was it.
Yeah, all I did was suggest that the victim talk to a content creator. I didn't expect the content creator to make a video out of it. Like, what do you think? What the fuck you think was gonna happen?
Prior, I had already left KP's server. I'll explain that in a bit when it's more relevant too. About a week and a half ago, KP messaged me the finalized testimony and already pre-written statements for us to use when posting it on this account. We were not asked, only given, and the statement claimed both I and Sophie talked to the victim extensively, which is not true. Which it says it right here, we, Bonk, as well as YouTuber I Love Kim Possible a lot, have talked to the victim extensively and believe the validity of these claims. I did investigate the victim prior and had no reason to doubt them or their motives.
Wait, how did you investigate though? How did they provide you the screenshots and stuff? How the fuck do you do an investigation? He's an internet detective, guys. He did it. He fucking Nerdy, tell us a bedtime story for a donation.
I did not, however, have extensive conversations with her, and Sophie had no involvement at all.
Also, yes, DA Games is accused of grooming a 12 to 13-year-old. What the fuck?
So I ignored the pre-written
Baldy would not approve of that, DA Games
statement because I believe the victim. I posted the testimony. KP then told me to take it down because I was too early. She hadn't explained that she wanted me to post this on the day of the video release. She also wanted me to make sure I posted at a specific time on that day. Knowing the victim had been talking with her, I went along with that plan. I assumed it was a plan that the victim had agreed to as well. And
wait, so like this, they turned this into a coordinated attack. What the fuck?
I wouldn't release their story in a way they didn't want. The testimony was posted again May 1st. The video released a short while after. I started watching it. You can see for yourself exactly my reaction at the time. I was trying to be generous, both because at the time I thought it was her not understanding the problems prior to release publicly, and because I wanted her to hear me out
It's
and remove the
14
video.
pages!
I attached our DM
Cool anime girls for $2. Tell us a bedtime story. Okay. There once was a YouTuber. He got in contact with a fan of his. He then had sex with them. And now it's up in the air whether or not it was consensual or not. The end.
between KP and Bonk from Fandoms, where Bonk says, "Hey, I know you're probably swamped right now. I don't want this to come across as an attack or add to any people attacking you, but I'm currently watching the video and I'm really disappointed by it. I don't think it's appropriate for memes to halt the video every few seconds, or for a lot of it to be spent discussing squabbles instead of these serious allegations. I haven't gotten to the most serious parts yet, because much of this is front-loaded with personal defense for you. I don't even think the Saber information should have been in this video. I don't even think the Saber information should have been in this same video at all, being shared and pushed to the back of the story. The DA Game's seriousness should have been in the front, your response and defense at the end, and everything with Saber allowed to be entirely removed in a different video. And the mocking voiceover—
bad story, do better. Okay. There once was a YouTuber who had millions upon millions of subs. He did cocaine, had hookers every night, but it wasn't enough for him because he was a Minecraft YouTuber, and he decided to go after a minor, and not the kind you're thinking of. He decided to hit up his local Discord server. And he found himself a 13-year-old fangirl. He then proceeded to groom her. And then 5 years later, they hooked up. And then 2 years later, she came out with a twitlonger.
Voiceovers also ruin the credibility. It all just comes across as childish, when there are extremely important things in the video mixed up in the rest. I'm messaging you instead of making a public statement because, like I said, there is a lot of awful things that I know you want to bring to light. I don't think you have bad intentions, but I think this video will only harm all causes, and I don't want people to say it was all just drama simply because of the video existing." And KP replies, "I'll think about it, but I'm currently exhausted." And Bonk says, "Think about what?" And KP replies, "I thought you were implying I should take down the video." And Bonk says, "I'm very worried that the video will be a huge stopping point for discussions about DA Games and Saberspark. Yeah, the important information isn't clear and is all buried in a lot of jokes and personal drama. I didn't realize this was going to be how
I wanted a story, not facts. Well, facts tell a story.
This was formatted. I don't want to make a statement that makes people hate on you just by me saying my thoughts on the video, but I also don't want people to dismiss everything Saber and Griffin have done simply because of my perceived association to it." And KP replies, "I'm too tired to comment on anything right now. We can talk later."
I'm too tired to talk about SA. Please let me sweep.
I'm open to recutting it, but would have to discuss that with the rest of the team. And Bonk replies,
"The rest of the team? Who's the rest of the team? You mean like one other person?"
"I'm an hour and 20 minutes in so far. I'm finding it very hard to understand the information being talked about at any given time, aside from the other criticisms I gave. From what I've been—
Yeah, add more dragons to the story? Oh no.
told,
Maybe bad
the R
dragons.
allegations are a small segment at the very end. I just can't get behind that decision. I'm not trying to call you a cloud chaser or someone who doesn't care, but I believe this video will only convince people that this is drama you have, as it exists right now. And KP replies, the video has been unlisted. I'll discuss it later with team members. And Bonk says, I know things are overwhelming right now. I'm sorry that this is a situation that we're in, but I think it's extremely important to fix things for everyone's sake. I hope you understand that I'm here talking with you because I don't want to throw you under the bus. I don't believe any of this was done with intentional malice or ego or whatever people claim. Thank you for taking steps though, and not disregarding what I'm saying outright. And KP responds with a thumbs up emoji. Brony finishes his thread by saying, even at this point, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I talked with her in a call about the problems. She told me she was surprised by the reactions because her team and the victim viewed it prior and liked it. I did not realize at the time that she was lying. Then there is a deleted section.
Dude, she's a big fat liar.
Of the thread by Brony, but he continues saying, I stopped talking to her immediately. There was no point anymore. I watched the video she sent me by Cartoonshi. I thought it was really well covered, and you can find my comment on the video still saying exactly that. This thread is going long right now, but there is a lot that I'll tell tomorrow about why I left KP's server, another problematic person on KP's team, and why
problematic
I was S. It's all related. I hope people understand, however, most of what led to where we are now. And finally, Brony ends off his thread by saying, one post in this thread had me mention something that wasn't meant to be public information. The deleted post included this information, however, so I'll repost it here. These messages made me realize KP did not at all understand what was wrong with what she did. And it's messages of KP saying, is there anything else to be said on Twitter? People are assuming me as bad as the people I covered. I'm going to bite Amy's head off.
I'm gonna bite Amy's head off? Who's Amy?
I just cannot take any additional stress. Her publicly dunking on me with I told you so's after I tried so incredibly hard, it just makes me so fucking upset. My whole feed is people calling me a C. And then lastly, sigh. This is really not helping. Linking Cartoonshi's video. Then YouTuber Mr. Enter makes a Twitter post saying,
dude, let's fucking go. Oh god, please tell me. Please tell me you guys know who Mr. Enter is. Okay, if you guys don't know who Mr. Enter is, we're gonna have a whole fucking side tangent if you guys don't know who he is. Prologue: the miner had a baby who grew up to be Nerdy John. The dragon ate the Minecraft YouTuber. The end. Dude, please tell me you guys know. Please tell me you know who Mr. Enter is. He's such a fucking character. I love watching videos about him.
Google Doc containing the statement in full and relevant link.
Dude, I love how Mr. Enter is just like inserting himself because he doesn't fucking like Sabersparks.
And it's him saying, I have personally never been angered so much by the reckless and irresponsible actions of another YouTuber. I love Kimpossible a lot. KP/Rachel released a video on the 1st of this month, complete with a premiere and a watch party. You've probably heard of it by now at the very least. It was billed as a takedown of Saberspark when he had—
the name doesn't ring any bells, no clue. Oh, you guys are missing out on some like premium YouTube history, my guys. You're missing out. Hang on, let me see if I can find a good video. Mr. Oh, I wonder if, speaking of, I wonder, you know, if Mr. Enter has made his video. Okay, if you guys want a good video, June the King made a video on Mr. Enter. It's called Crushed by Ambition, the story of the mysterious Mr. Enter. Yeah, that's his full YouTube name, by the way, is the mysterious Mr. Enter. What the fuck is this? My most ambitious project yet. Oh, yeah. What's funny about Mr. Enter is that he's like one of these like cartoon critics who like thinks that they can make a cartoon, but he's never made a cartoon. It's so funny.
Had very little to do with the overall video. Even DA Games, the other YouTube channel in the title, was an afterthought compared to their mutual employee, Chris Aficionado. The video was unlisted and then privated, has since been re-uploaded, within hours of its release after immense backlash. The contents of the video have been well documented and rightfully torn to shreds by several YouTubers, most pertinently by Cartoonshi. It was meant to be about serious subjects from S harassment all the way to R allegations. The video in turn had cartoon reaction clips, memes, a terrible flow, half the time you can't tell what the fuck KP is talking about, and Saberspark is largely an afterthought. I was baffled at first. But as the days went on and I looked more and more into exactly what happened in KP's behavior before the release and since, I have grown from confused to angry to appalled. I'll be
Angry and appalled are basically the same thing, Mr. Enter.
upfront with the biggest issue here. DA Games does have legitimate accusations that should be looked into. DA Games and their community has hurt someone I know personally. Saberspark.
You know the victims personally, Mr. Enter? What the fuck? They're like 13. How do you know them, Mr. Enter? You're in your 30s.
Does have legitimate controversies that he needs to address that he has been avoiding for years. This video was so horrendous, it has simultaneously done damage to both stories and has hurt people, far more than Rachel seems to realize. I don't know much about DA Games personally, so I can't comment on that. But I do feel for the people who are hurt there. And I do hope that someone with more competence can tell the full story. Rachel's video was largely billed as a takedown of Saberspark. She teased it for months. The video's title was set up in the vein of Saberspark's videos. I have never seen someone falter allegations so abominably bad. I've been doing research on this story.
Abominably bad. That's the funny thing with Mr. Enter. He tries using big words. It's just funny.
I'm planning to make a video addressing the situation after I do the due diligence that Rachel failed to.
Dude, let's go. Mr. Enter is going to make his own commentary video on this. Let's go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome.
However, some things I feel must be addressed immediately, with what Brony Fandom has accused KP of the night before this was written. I'll start by restating what is already known. There were many people who asked to lend their voice. People like Lazy Bedhead and June the King. None of them were given the full script or
Dude, June the King did voice it.
context of what they were talking about. Even worse, the Sonic pissing on the moon guy was put in without being asked at all. This video had been in production for over half a year.
Well, I don't think you... Okay, if there's like a popular audio, right? I don't think you need someone's permission to use it. Like, right? Like, okay, like when I make an edited video, I like using JonTron clips. I don't think I need JonTron's permission to like use clips of him that are really popular. I think it's dumb to be like, and they didn't ask permission to use this audio. Like, fuck off with that.
Since September of 2024, the initial plan was that it was about DA Games entirely, with Saberspark having an even more minor role. KP got wind of Saberspark's accusation late in production. She got wind of this in March, more than a full month before the video's release, and sat on it. She would say she had career-ruining allegations towards Saberspark, but would give no details beyond that prior to the video's release. To put this in perspective, my second video on Star Giants Productions was 100 hours of work and investigation over the course of 2 weeks. The Mystic Mongol
Good
video,
for you, Mr. Enter. You get a gold fucking star.
in which I had to comb through thousands of Discord messages and watch 10 hours of video shit fights, and took roughly
Dude, you're a fucking cartoon reviewer. What the fuck are you doing this?
3 weeks. In the month that KP had this allegation, she didn't even proofread the initial Twitter statements. The alleged victim later clarified on Twitter that a second incident happened in late 2012, not 2013. It took me less than an hour to even verify that Saberspark was at the conventions where these incidents were said to have taken place. He was there at both of them. KP couldn't have been bothered to do that within her own video. The allegation itself is placed in the video with all the structural integrity of a rickroll. She was asked several questions. My biggest one was who saw the video ahead of time. Beyond the uncredited editor, I can't substantiate anyone. KP claimed that besides the editor, one of her mods saw it, a couple of DA's victims saw it, and Saber's alleged victim saw it. According to KP, Leo Convoy and Courtney Pete were sent the video and
oh my god, Leo Convoy is involved in this? Leo Convoy? Of course Leo Convoy is involved. Why isn't he not involved? Leo Convoy, you motherfucker. Why are you always involved in some sort of weird essay story involving fucking cartoon people and bronies? Stop it, Leo Convoy. Leave the internet and build your fucking Gundam, whatever the fuck you do in your videos.
Neither watched it prior. According to Brony Fandom, if his Twitter thread is to be believed, Saberspark's alleged victim never even saw the video. If Brony Fandom is telling the truth, then KP lied to the face of someone she asked to be in the video without giving them the full context of. I have my beliefs, but I know for sure that someone between these two is lying, and I will get to the truth of the matter. KP claimed that the video's tone was such a problem because she had never done something like this before. This is
guys, this is my first time. Be nice.
a lie. She made a video on Lily Orchard last year, and according to some of the comments, the tone
Dude, oh no, but remember, people already made videos on Lily Orchard, so you know there was no risk in making one on her.
of that video was meant to be similar to this one until she was begged to stop. Take this with a grain of salt. But as more of KP's former mods and volunteers, she doesn't have workers, she has volunteers, leave in disgust, I'm sure we'll get more stories, and they won't be from Anon this time. Since the video has dropped, KP has been complaining that this has become a ranting about KP and KP's video session instead of actually caring about the victim.
Well, that's what happens when you make a shit video. I'm sorry. People turn their attention to you.
Let me tell you the favors that Rachel has done for Saberspark's alleged victim. In the video itself, she shows a clip where Saberspark has threatened her with legal action. Here's the worst case scenario that Rachel had made a
Wait, Saberspark threatened her with legal action over what? The allegations? Or was it something else?
distinct possibility. It's possible for Saberspark to have SA'd this woman on 2 separate occasions. Rachel, living in Pony La La Land, presented such a poor case.
Pony La La Land. I love when bronies go after other bronies. It's fucking funny.
She can be sued for defamation over something that may be true. And with the cards currently on the table,
hot take, Boblax has a better voice. Okay. You need to talk. You need to clarify who you think he has a better voice than. Okay, because there's no way Boblax has a better voice than me.
Saberspark can win that defamation lawsuit, which will prevent.
Also, I'm just saying, okay, Boblax sounds like this when he talks. Actually, hang on. Boblax has a new. What we're doing we're doing a Nicholas Diorio side tangent. Okay, actually, Boblax, I think, is doing voice training because in his latest Twitter verses, or it's not even like Twitter verses, it's like it's about like weird GoFundMe's. Okay. Also, holy shit, his thumbnail game has been shit, man. What happened? What happened to the thumbnails, Boblax? Your thumbnails used to be so simple. Now they're fucking like look at this. iDubbbz blames H3 and quits Creator Clash. Like look at like that's so shit. Okay, but like I think this is like the new video. So it's
So I feel like every year the IQ of Twitter overall has just
that's definitely a higher pitch. That's definitely a higher pitch. If you put Boblax at 1.5, he sounds almost normal. Okay, let's put that to the test. Let's put that to the test.
It's been getting lower and lower and lower to the point where people are now donating money to causes that don't really need money. These 3
Also, I love Denim's picture of Ethan here because like he looks like the racist drawing that we all know of that I'm not gonna say out loud, but like holy shit, like this looks like the most stereotypical picture you could find of like Ethan's race. Like the only thing that would be even more stereotypical is if like Denim's had like a picture of a certain group of people and they were all eating fried chicken.
Fundraisers I'm going to talk about in this video seriously make crypto bros seem like financial.
Yeah, I don't know about the boys. Okay, I don't. No offense to Boblax, but I was never really a fan of his narration voice.
Prevent the alleged victim.
I think Boblax sounds fine when he's just talking, but when he's trying to do the voice, he's trying to like do that narration voice. It's sounds really obnoxious.
Ever getting justice. I'm mad too, Rachel, but not because they're making fun of your video, but because they're not realizing how truly toxic it is. Because of you. People in general believe that not just Saberspark, but DA Games are innocent of what they may or may not have done. You had 6 months to make a video. I would have assumed that you would have had one thought since then. I couldn't even follow what you were saying, and I had to follow the broken ramblings of the broken brain of my former editor. Here's what I know about the specific allegations towards Saberspark. He was publicly defending Black Griffin, who met the VA for Sweet Belle when she was 14 and well into adulthood. When she became an adult, the two married. Saberspark publicly defended him and said things were on the level. Later, it was uncovered that Black Griffin was publicly flirtatious with a known minor on DeviantArt, that at least 2 other people are alleging he sent.
Dude, we're getting the lore here. We're getting the lore.
them D-pics when they were minors. Saberspark continually fails to address this situation, and with a platform his size, he has a responsibility to. Saberspark has been accused of SA twice in 2012 at 2 separate conventions. I can confirm he was at the events this was said to have happened. I can confirm that there are people vouching for this.
Oh yeah, I've never I don't think majority of people have questioned whether or not he was at those conventions. I think, but the problem is what happened behind closed doors, which is a he said she said situation, which unfortunately, because of how long ago the situation was, it's kind of hard to prove.
Woman's story. I can confirm the person at least exists. I can confirm that this person may have had a reason for staying quiet for so long. KP's video is not when this person first stepped forward. They first stepped forward when the Black Griffin story was gaining more traction, and that should be looked into as it is where this story starts, not the monumental catastrophe of someone with poor investigative ethics. I am currently looking for more information and will keep my DMs open for the month of May. I believe that Saberspark should be obligated to give his side of the story publicly to his audience and address everything. The Black Griffin controversy isn't like fumbling criticizing Freedom Tunes or paying for a Daily Wire subscription. This is something that must be addressed. He is free to not say anything, but I believe that he owes an explanation to his audience. I believe it's suspicious that when the Black Griffin story is gaining mainstream attraction, he quietly lets it slide that he's going to be retiring in 2 years. I believe that time will...
Why would you announce that you're retiring in 2 years? Why not just announce that you're retiring? It's so dumb to be like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm only making videos for 2 more years.
Will tell the truth of the matter, one way or the other. I believe that a re-edit of the video that KP plans on making should be taken as a resignation of her being a content creator. Rachel, literally the only way you can survive on this platform is to soul search, profusely apologize, and never tackle serious subject matter in any way ever again.
Like you, Mr. Enter? Like you?
Alternatively, your other choice is to write, record, and edit your videos yourself to an audience of no one for no profit. However, going back to Brony's original thread that we read at the beginning of the video, Space Frog replies asking, when this person came to you, did you advise them to go to the police? And Brony says, of course not. With all the
Of course not. Yeah, did you tell them to go to the police? No.
Times even the most clear-cut situations of undeniable guilt get off scot-free and ruin the reputations of clear victims, I would never tell anyone to take that avenue if they already don't feel confident.
What the fuck? Yeah, don't go to police. Because if they go to the police, then there's a public record. They have to put their actual name down. They can't remain anonymous, which is probably why he advised it. Also, too, it's like, okay, I'm personally not necessarily pro cop, but if you have a serious crime that happened to you, you need to report it to the proper authorities, okay? Because okay, so Saberspark, let's hypothetically, let's say Saberspark did assault them, right? SA completely non-consensual. What the fuck's the internet gonna do? He's still gonna be walking around. Okay, he'll lose his internet career, but he'll still be walking around, right? You can get a job at fucking Walmart or some shit, you know? If you go to the police and they're able to prove that he did what he did, then he goes to jail. He gets to rot in jail. But the problem here, of course, we have to remember is that this was from 10 plus years ago with a he said, she said situation. So the police wouldn't be able to do anything. Just like how the internet's not really able to do anything. I guess in terms of the court of public opinion, people can take sides, but the problem is this is a he said, she said story with almost no proof to provide whether or not it was consensual or not. We have proof that they went to the conventions, but other than that, it's well, what are we supposed to do here? What are we supposed to do?
It's 14 pages!
As a ginger, Nerdy is more pro cop than pro son. Dude. No, okay, hey. According to TikTok, gingers are black now, okay? I'm invited to the cookout.
Too. And Space Frog replies, that is horrendously irresponsible. While law enforcement is by no means perfect, If someone's been R'd, the best avenue for justice and protecting the public is filing a criminal complaint. Why would you assume the victim would be better off talking to KP than the police?
Yeah, no, don't go to police. Go to I Love Kim Possible. I just can't understand when YouTubers became the people to report allegations instead of the police. My brain cannot comprehend it. It's because of like a parasocial thing, you know? People for some reason trust YouTubers more than they do like actual authority figures. Because we've been like, especially like the last couple of years, have been taught not to trust the police, and for good reason for some of them, right? You sure gingers aren't? Nah, man. According to TikTok, we gingers are black now, okay? By the way, you gotta say ginger. You gotta say ginger now. Ginger is our word.
And Brony says, you underestimate how intentionally corrupt it is, and overestimate how effective even the parts that are trying to work are. And Spacefork replies, the stats on conviction rates for R are pretty sad, linking rain.org statistics, but even if only a small fraction end up in prison, that's better than—
Also, too, like, even if the police aren't able to do anything, I think it adds more credibility to your story if you actually like go to police to report it. But again, the problem is if you go to like, obviously if you go to the police to report it, I think the records are public if you go and report it. So I think that just like it hurts the anonymity that the accuser is trying to have.
What a YouTuber can do, which is no convictions, no justice, no protection of the public from an arrest. Why go to a YouTuber? And Brony replies, because internet justice is infinitely more plausible than courtroom justice. You say
internet justice is more plausible than courtroom justice. What the fuck is that sentence?
No justice, but everyone knowing his deeds and losing his status isn't nothing, not even close. And KP Safety Mon quote tweets,
it is practically nothing, okay? If you want, guys, if you want actual like assaulters to like, if you want assaulters to like actually be punished, you have to take them to jail. Simple as that. So that way they can't hurt other people.
One of Brony's posts by saying, to be clear, yes, the criminal justice system is corrupt. However, not using it at all is a long-term net harm for victims, and underreporting is an exact result of outlooks like this. Prison for a RS, or at the very least a worsening of their lifestyle, is exactly justice. And Brony replies, not using it at all out of fear of it failing is the consequence of the system being so broken, not a flaw of the people avoiding it. You need to stop talking with such authority on what people should and shouldn't do. It's exclusively harmful.
Exclusively harmful, instead of like inclusively harmful.
And Ant replies, Jesus Christ, you should have reached out to Rain. If you ever get into another situation like this, learn from this incident and contact Rain. They are trained to handle stuff like this. And
I'm guessing Rain's like an organization where you can go and like report stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, no, in all seriousness, like, go to the police, go to an organization that specializes in this stuff. Like, go through the proper channels. Yo, Mike's not a mod on. Okay, Mike's not a mod as like on his new channel. We gotta fix that. There you go. Mike Spiker Radio is now modded.
And Brony replies, dumbass, I don't even know who that is. Why would I have reached out to someone I didn't know existed? This is a completely pointless response you're so angrily shouting. Even if I did know who they were, you should have is also pointless right now. I cannot change the past. Please, if you have nothing productive to add, then fuck off. I don't care that you want to wage war. All I want to do is help the victim. You shouting at me your opinions on what should have happened is pointless. It does not help. And Ant replies, if you don't know about the R Abuse and Incest National Network, you should reconsider your position in being someone people can trust to come to about this topic. And Brony says, now I'm learning it's just a third party that tries to help when dealing with authorities. That's what you've been screaming at me about? It's the same shit. If you think they're helpful, amazing. I hope they are. It's not the unchallengeable ultimate moral go-to suddenly.
It's better than just being like, hey, going online, just being like, hey guys, by the way, this random YouTuber, yeah, they're a bad guy. you shouldn't like them anymore. Like, come on, man. Like, again, going through the proper channels helps legitimize your story, because like even if the police aren't really able to do anything, I think it shows that like because you're willing to report something, it adds validity. Now, granted, that's not always like, you know, there are differentiating circumstances, but still, like if if you're going through something like essay or whatever, your first thing should not be, I need to tell the internet about this. It should be, I need to go to the authorities about this. Hot take, I know.
They came to me. Many have at this point. Maybe instead of fighting me about who they chose, you should try to understand why they did. Or maybe you could do literally anything to try and help people too. Nothing you're doing is doing anything but harm. You think you're the expert? Then why didn't they go to you? Maybe all they wanted was someone...
Dude, this is so fucking unhinged. Oh, you think you're the expert? Then how come they didn't come to you? They went to me. I'm the expert. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dude, he's going mad with power.
One who gave enough of a shit to speak loudly for them. And Ants replies, I have donated thousands to Rain. And then Casey makes her own thread where she talks about who she believes that the anonymous victim is, and then captions it by saying, I went through our DM history before posting this, and it made me sad to see what it used to be. An open letter to I love KP a lot. Rachel, you know full well that handling things in public brings me no joy, but I'm not naive about the pragmatic reality of internet justice. In the spirit of our mutual love of The Little Mermaid,
in the spirit of our love for the Little Mermaid, what the fuck?
This post gives Triton destroys the grotto vibes. That is intentional. Sigh, this sucks so hard. I've tried to help you in so many ways.
See, these people have autism. This shows the fact that they typed out sigh.
I warned you that a public video was not the way. I cautioned you about the harm you could cause to people who had done nothing wrong. You didn't listen. You wanted
Now I can ban everyone. You better not, Mike. You better not.
To get feedback from others. How is that working out for you? Do you remember our conversation many years ago that started with me saying, I defended you. I told people you had matured and grown as a person. Then you lashed out and made me into a liar. I'm not very happy with you about that. I've been thinking about that conversation a lot the last few days. I've thought about how I also said, you are not entitled to people's friendship. Not everyone is going to like you and want to be friends. You don't have to like it, but that is reality. At the time, I wondered what kind of entitled life you had led that I needed to teach you that kindergarten level lesson. Now it seems to me that your epic butthurt over not
check DMs. I give you permission to play the whole thing. Oh boy, we got a new Mike the Bike song. New Mike the Bike song. Oh, Mike, well, don't worry, Mike. We'll play this towards the end of the stream. Nerdy, the only solution is to mod us all. He can't ban us if we're all mods.
Not being in a specific cool kids club manifested into jealous hatred that has clouded your judgment. About your anonymous victim. Victim my ass. Of course I know who it is. I used to be friends with her too. There's a reason that's past tense. That girl has victim.
Music video. Okay, we'll show the music video when towards the end of the stream, don't worry.
A lot of them, actually. You simply didn't do the work to have journalistic integrity. You were supposed to vet sources and confirm stories. A simple Google search of her name and drama could have told you all the crap that chick has done that is public knowledge.
That chick has done. Okay, fucking say their name. Say their name, motherfucker.
And that perhaps she is not a person to stake your reputation on. However, you also know a list of people who could have told you the stuff she has done that is not widely known or public information, including the man you allegedly have in common. In your defense, a lot of people have put you on an information diet, and while you may have tried to research, folks in your personal life already find you untrustworthy and maybe told you jack squat. Now I find out that you have also made a false attempted R allegation that you later recanted. It's not a shock that you and that steaming pile masquerading as a woman found kindred spirits.
That steaming pile masquerading as a woman? Holy shit, man. That sounds kind of transphobic.
In each other. Given that one of the most egregious and allegedly criminal acts that other girl has done happened in the guest room of my house, I already
What the fuck? What is this?
Thought that bitch could fuck all the way off. Now I think you can join her. You detestable hose beasts deserve each
You detestable hose beast? What the? Oh, I love this. I love this.
You are dead to me. I'm no longer in a position to help you in your career or do you favors, so I imagine you don't care. I'm okay with that. It's for the best. You don't have the success you are so jealous of because you have neither innate talent nor charisma to go the easy route, and are also lacking—
God damn, they're digging in on the victim hard, man. I've heard of victim blaming, but god damn, this is victim kneeling.
work ethic to brute force it the hard way. Your content is just not good enough for you to rise much above hobbyist content creator. I know there's evidence of your organizational and project management skills, but your penchant for obliviousness, unprofessionalism, and occasionally putting your foot in your mouth make a career on the business side of things a challenge. Good freaking luck. You're going to need it. Casey. Amy, someone who claims to be an IRL friend to the anonymous victim, says, "Stinky victim blaming. Ew, yuck."
What the stinky victim blaming? Ew, yuck. Oh my god. I love seeing how these people type. Thunderbolts past 300 million. Very epic. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Stinky victim blaming. Ooh, yuck. You know what? I'm gonna download this video later, and I'm gonna make that into an audio clip. Stinky victim blaming. Ooh, yuck is so fucking funny to me.
A friend to the anonymous victim says, "Stinky victim blaming. Ew, yuck."
Don't be surprised if that's the new dono sound in a few weeks.
Pony fan replies, "Aren't you friends with Black Griffin?" And Kate—
Ooh, goddamn. Why are these people so autistic? I don't know.
Casey says, "You're late to the party. I spoke my truth about him years ago. I won't pretend my lived IRL experiences didn't happen, no matter how much drama mongers would prefer otherwise." And Pony
Stinky victim blaming. With the fucking ooh emoticons. Oh my fucking god.
fan says, "I'd be cautious about calling people late to the party, since my friend can't be an artist because he's my friend and she's just a liar is pretty old head behavior."
Oh my god, Black Lives Matter, Pony fan at Pony fan Seth.
Cope and Seeth quote tweets Casey's post by
here we go, Cope and Seeth,
saying, "Seems to be a lot of movement on who the victim is. Hearing some interesting theories on the Vine, one of which would explain a lot. This story is kinda wild." And finally, Brony Fandom tweets out, "So many people want my head, because I supported people who had been sexually abused in ways that outside parties didn't approve of. I know anything less than submission isn't something you'll approve of, but I don't owe any of you anything."
Yeah, that's right, fucking Brony fan. You stick to your ground. You stand your ground.
I never have. If the victims that I'm trying to help feel that I've wronged them, then I will apologize.
Why? Okay, this guy's like discount Twitter Brony Mama Max. Like, why is it up to him now to like be the voice for the victims? I mean, if you want to help people, that's great and everything, but like, you're acting like it's your goddamn job.
To them. I will do whatever they feel is necessary to make up for it. And if they no longer want me involved, then I won't be. But as of this moment, it's only been strangers speaking for them. I know explaining myself is a lose-lose. I'm not allowed to understand that positive impact I've had, or it's considered ego and clout chasing. But Griffin is no longer even alleged. Almost everything he was signed on to do, he's been cut from.
TLDR, Brony equals guilty. So true. So
He can no longer even claim to be innocent. The information is too easily accessible and too extensive. But not every person I help has the luxury of going up against someone with extensive paper trails publicly, and that does not mean I should ignore them. I don't just take a story someone tells and run with it. There are many cases where I had no way of judging the validity, and therefore didn't publicly talk about what was told. Saber's victim is trustworthy. I don't hesitate to say this bluntly. She is telling the truth. If you don't believe
I mean, I would prefer her telling the truth, but like, again, we don't know. It's a he said, she said situation.
her, as long as you don't try to go in with the assumption that she's lying or not even real, then that's fair. But I believe the victim. And that belief doesn't have conditions. If I didn't publicly support her story, it would mean I doubted it. I don't. I don't know if I'll accept helping victims speak out in the future. I don't think I can handle the publicity of it all. If that was your goal, then I hope you question why that was. You do not know the pressure I face every day.
You don't know the struggles I face.
The scrutiny, harassment, threats. If you tried walking in my shoes, you'd stumble in my footsteps.
Oh my god, so fucking dramatic. I love it. Dude, autistic bronies are the fucking best, man. They're so goddamn funny.
That's not me trying to self-congratulate. That's me out of desperation, trying to get the internet to grasp empathy, and I know it's not going to work. I will continue to help the three I've promised, until they either tell me they don't want me to, or I finish the job. You don't have to like me, but don't get in their way. They all went through too much hell for you to jump in, claiming authority. Shout out to our tier 3 members and internet.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny. Dude, I love how dramatic these people can be. I love it. I love it so much. Most of them said nay. Oh my god, nay to the situation. Oh my fucking god. You know what happened? Brony Fandom. He acts a victim. Why the long face? Oh god. Okay, guys, we have more. We have more when it comes to this internet versus Saberspark's response.
Recent event.
Dude, it gets better and better. It gets better and better, guys. Dude, Connor's gonna like see that like I've been watching like 5 of his fucking videos. He's probably gonna want to take me down.
Saberspark has responded to the allegations levied against him, which we read in full in the first part of this series. In his video,
Burrow, apparently Captain Gentoo will not be in Lilo Stitch. What the fuck? What the fuck? He's an essential character. What the fuck?
he completely denies the SA story.
Movie ruined for me. I'm not seeing it now.
Saying that it never happened at all, along with going after Brony Fandom, the original poster, and I Love Kim Possible a Lot, the woman who made the expose video, which she deleted, saying that they both completely botched the story, along with claiming he believes they did everything maliciously in order to attack him. In the video, he shows segments of a heated email exchange that happened between himself and I Love KP a Lot a couple months back, where it's also revealed that there were talks of a romantic relationship between the two. But he also—
oh my god, explains everything. This has been a huge lovers quarrel this entire time. What the fuck?
Also posted an archive of this email interaction in full, and man does it get crazy. On top of this, the internet is somewhat split on Saber's response, with many accepting that the SA case may very well be fake, but a select few wishing that he would address his defense of Black Griffin, a friend of his who also has allegations against him. Welcome
is that what
to
he
the internet
looks like, Black
versus
Griffin?
Saberspark's response.
Is that what he looks like? What the fuck?
Of his who also has allegations against him. Welcome to the internet versus Saberspark's response. It starts.
Is your background you hitting on Squatchin in the diner? No, I'm not hitting on Squatchin. Squatchin's taking my order.
When Saberspark tweets out his video with the caption, "My response to recent events." And of course, if you haven't watched it, it will be linked.
What the fuck is that profile picture? Is that fucking him as like Hank Hill?
Linked in the description. But Mello replies by saying, "See, it's happening yet again. Like, someone makes an allegation, almost everyone believes it, then a response video comes out, and people shift to believe the response. This is why I don't do fandoms anymore."
Well, that's because everyone's a fucking goldfish when it comes to information. They just believe like whatever's fed to them at the time.
Bunch of young people that believe everything. Hot Wheels Jack replies, "So it's another quite situation then." No.
I wouldn't call it a quiet situation. Quite had proof that proved he was innocent. This is just he said, she said.
Nobody that you know quoted Saber by saying, "At the end of the day, no matter what you think, it's still fucked up to cheer for serious accusations just because you don't like that person. Just saying," and attaches an image of a tweet that we read in the first part, where someone's celebrating saying, "Saberspark exposed? This is the greatest day of my life." Creature of the Garden quoted Saber by saying, "Popular creator known to defend P named Black Griffin has SA allegations. Fans, I won't pick a side. Victim's testimony gets misused for clout by the YouTuber they trusted to talk about it properly. Creator responds to say, I didn't do it. Fans, I knew he was innocent. The video doesn't even address his own allegations to disprove them at all. He sneaks in another defense of Black Griffin, talks about how his editor was a scumbag to divert attention from himself, points fingers at the YouTuber for making a shitty call out, and that's it. Nothing in the video proves that he didn't SA that person. He doesn't even directly talk about it or prove his innocence in any."
Well, it's like, well, I hate to be that guy, but the victim's testimony, it's just testimony. It doesn't prove that Saber did anything that they're being accused of. And that's the unfortunate reality of it. This is a problem when people don't have proof of what's going on. Okay, now I can listen better. Killjoy, 40K. I feel like it's weird that people won't change their mind given more or new information, or finding out the accuser is unreliable narrator with possible beef with the creator. Also, quite is the GOAT for core. Well, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Cause like I don't even think in this situation that you have to believe one side or the other. I think you can have a neutral opinion on this, which sounds bad, right? Like I would love to believe all victims. Unfortunately, people lie. And like, given how serious the allegations are, you would want to believe that this person wouldn't lie about it. But also too, it calls into question, like, why did it take them 10 plus years to talk about it? The anonymity, it's just, I was in call with a couple of IRL friends who were way louder than the stream. Ah, gotcha.
Anyway, it's just one big don't look at me, look how this YouTuber botched the call out, as if the victim wasn't upset about that too. All of his fans went, I don't know, I'm gonna wait until he responds until I can believe a victim. Then he responded with a nothing burger statement, just claiming he didn't do anything without any proof of his innocence, and they ate it up. And Lead Pipe replies, if the alleged victim can't have evidence of it because it was such a long time
Women lie.
ago, then why would Saber have it? And it tweets out a screenshot of Saberspark's response video captioning it, Saber just posted a response to the allegations, and an 18-year-old on Twitter replies, bro may be a serial gooner, but anyone who tried to shun him for these false allegations owe him an apology, myself included.
Well, I can't say these allegations are false because, again, it's a he said, she said situation with, unfortunately, no side really having proof.
Trey replies, I can't believe innocence until proven guilty is non-existent on Twitter. Zeus the Doodler says, the allegations are fake, but he still defends his P friend, so, and an 18-year-old
which is weird. Okay, if he's like actively still defending like a guy who's like been proven to like mess with minors, it's fucking weird, man.
replies, yeah, he still isn't innocent for that. Quartzy tweets out, so the Saberspark allegations were false. And Creep replies, fuck. And Kay says, so you're pissed that someone didn't get R'd? You should probably start questioning yourself, dude. Frank Z also tweets out a screenshot of the response saying, y'all, he just dropped a response to the allegations. And Beneficial Gamer says, the dumbest part of the allegations for me was the part where after both essays, Saber held out his hand and said, friends? Like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah, it's just like, that was always funny to me. It was just like, hey, I know we just had sex, but like, handshake, friends? Like, who does it? Who the fuck does that? If that's true.
And Harley TBS quote tweets Frank by saying,
so because Saber responds, the allegations isn't suddenly falsified. No, it's not that they're falsified. It's just the problem is it's a he said, she said situation with no proof. I mean, if you believe the victim, I mean, that's more power to you. I don't necessarily believe Saberspark. It's just like both, like, again, because of how long ago these were. Because of how long ago these were. Like, no one has fucking proof on either side to prove their innocence. The best proof that people can come up with is that they were both at the conventions where these allegedly happened.
I need you guys to wait for a response from the.
Have you seen the doc against Black Griffin? It's one of the silliest things. They include him buying Girl Scout cookies as evidence of him being a pedo. What the fuck? Dude, I better not buy Girl Scout cookies. I do that. It's all about what he said. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit. I would suggest picking Beckett or Falgi's brain on it. Hey, if Falgi wants to call in, he's more than welcome to. Unfortunately, like, I just like, hey Beckett, hey Falgi, explain this essay to me. Explain this rape.
The person being
to me specifically, Nerdy John, who has no clout.
Accused of monstrous shit before you put it all over Twitter as a fact.
Explain the rape.
Are we serious? When did it become normal for a gimmick account to platform allegations to millions of users? If it gets proven wrong, I'll take this down. You shouldn't be tweeting that a person did vile shit before it's been proven. What an awful gimmick. And it shows Santa Decides correct version saying, Saberspark is on the naughty list. Vile shit. If it gets proven wrong, I will take this down and you can disregard everything.
Isn't like the original guy who made the Santa Decides account like fucking unhinged? I don't know. I remember Augie and Nick like complaining about him a couple of years ago.
I said, with it also having 47,000 likes and 3 million views. Comic book reader posts the response video on the YouTube drama subreddit. Your local manager says, I wish he included more evidence, bro. The original claim had almost zero evidence, and we know that because of the stream Kim Possible did saying that this was all hearsay. And we also know that because the alleged victim and Kim Possible knew this information for almost a year and were both completely fine interacting with Saber on Twitter. And for almost a month, Kim Possible was attempting to hype up, oh shit, this is gonna break the internet. But he didn't provide evidence of him not doing what is alleged. I'm sorry, but you have to thank Kim Possible again.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to prove a negative. Like, prove that you didn't rape this person. Like, because like, okay, if Skype deleted, because like, I'm sure, like, if Skype deleted all their messages, it's Black Heaven groomed a minor on DA and married an underage voice actress. She became legal. That's clear-cut evidence. I mean, if he waited till she was legal. No, I'm kidding.
Again for that shit. Because of how terrible the video is and awfully she conducted herself, all Saber has to do is point, and people will automatically see that she is a doofus with a grudge. But what about Black Griffin? I don't know why on earth he'd be talking about someone's allegations in his own video responding to his own allegations. Look, deadass, I think Saberspark is a weird gooner. The entire community he came up with are just as bad. But if anything, his response video shows how significantly KP fucked up by not getting the alleged victim justice they deserve. And Salavtor says, I'm not at the liberty of defending him, but the response to the allegations is good. For those curious, no, he doesn't address Black Griffin stuff. As a matter of fact, the last few minutes are him talking about abuse victims around the world. To clarify, he mentions him at 13 minutes and 20 seconds and nothing else.
Wish some Mouse 5 provided a police report. They never went to the police. That's the thing. They never went to the police because the brony fuck said not to, because the authorities, you know, they wouldn't help.
We will probably never see him enlighten us about the Black Griffin, and he's more than likely firm on his stance on defending him. Saber did the right thing to defend himself as there was no evidence towards him, but Griffin has had so much evidence come out over the span of the past few months. In fact, there was a whole month where new things came out weekly about him. The last few minutes of this video have no weight, and I hope Saber acknowledges that people are going to give him a lot of shit for it. And Space Fluttershy replies, pretty fucked up that he doesn't even touch on those impacted by Black Griffin at all. He's apparently all for standing up for victims, except for when they're victims of his best bud. Like, regardless of the truthfulness of the allegations against Saberspark specifically, his adamant defense of his racist predator buddy has been enough to sour him in my eyes already.
Dude, not only is he a predator, he's also racist.
And Salaptor says, here's a quote during his last couple minutes. There are consequences for those actions and we have to take those matters seriously or more people will get
What's worse, chat, being a predator or being racist?
hurt. There are actual victims of SA in the world, and stuff like this detracts from those who really need the help. So combine that with a screenshot of him defending BG, and oh boy. Mr. Enter tweets out, yes, I have seen Saberspark's response video. And JC Denton replies, what's your thoughts on it? And Mr. Enter says, you will know soon enough.
You will know soon enough. Dude, I can't wait for that Mr. Enter video. He's gonna change the whole story.
Josh tweets out Saberspark today, showing this comic of someone flinging shit with the caption, lying about Freedom Tunes for clout and to try to get them canceled, and then shit getting flown back at them. Oh no, someone is lying about me for clout and trying to get me canceled. And Fresher Luke replies, he's still going with this shit. And Josh says, I saw his video about it today, and almost every single point that he makes about what his accuser is doing to him is something that he had done to Freedom Tunes. The hypocrisy is just astounding. Ellie says, are you really comparing his opinion on cartoons to real accusations? Grow up. And Josh replies, he literally tried to cancel Freedom Tunes by heavily implying that the team is racist. That's a lot more than cartoon opinions. You literally don't know what you're talking about. Alistor tweets out, Saberspark has now entered the Hall of the Hollowed Few who were
Ask Hulk Hogan.
accused of SA/grooming, but effectively blew the accusations out of the water with receipts. I salute you, Saber. And Every Cafe replies, he has joined the ranks of George Not Found, Slazo, Zaptai, Pyro, Gilly Master, Jay Schlatt, and more. People who disproved allegations against them, clearing their name.
Okay, but like he didn't really disprove the allegations. It was just like he just said, hey, I didn't do it. And then like it's up to people to believe him. Because there's no proof.
Massive Saber W. And Parlo replies, take Pyrocynical the fuck off there. Now, the email exchange that Saberspark showed slightly in his video was linked in full in the description, and this whole thing gets messy with talks about Chris, the former editor that KP was upset by, along with what seems to be her saying what the inappropriate joke was that Chris made to her many years ago. And Saber and KP go back and forth whether they were and or weren't romantically interested in each other, with Saber threatening to get lawyers involved due to KP's posts and, as he says, misinformation. The first email is from KP to Saberspark in January 2025 with the title, Aficionados Chris SH Case. Good afternoon, Steven. This email is your requested private communication regarding Chris and the overall SH situation that he has caused. Our full incident report can be found here if needed. Since you publicly displayed confusion at best about my attempted communication with you prior to this point, below are screenshots of my conversation with Redacted, aka the friends/employees I passed Chris's information to. The conversation with Redacted specifically mentions a possible staffing change through Redacted based on Chris's actions, and I honestly cannot fathom a situation where there would be that drastic of an employee change or discussion without your knowledge. Screenshots can be found here, here, and here. I do not appreciate you calling me a liar publicly, and I would like some form of public apology. Additionally, your public statement states that you knew the confrontation between me and Chris was recorded as a matter of community safety, combined with your email interactions with DA Games, leads me to believe that, unless there was some major miscommunication, you are aware of the situation and that you have chosen inaction. You still have the choice to either hold Chris accountable, i.e. firing him with proof, or keep him on staff. Should you choose the former, please communicate this to me as soon as possible to avoid any miscommunication and any public statement/information presented after. If you believe this is only a one-time incident, this document linked below has logged some of Chris's other inappropriate behavior, including but not limited to making up bestiality jokes to someone he knew was a minor, the use of the N-word and the imagery with himself and will of DA Games.
Wait, the use of the N-word and what's that other? What's the other word?
You can find more information on page 4 and 29 of this document. I've been given clearance to show unedited screenshots of the bestiality incident if requested. I hope that we can clearly
I've been given permission to show the bestiality incident. An actual sentence. What the
communicate
fuck?
about this going forward. I have no desire to get into an internet squabble with you, so let's please work this out as adults. The second email is again from KP to Saberspark, this time talking about employees and how Saber had a romantic interest in her, and it starts with her saying, Steven, it is clear to me you do not wish to correspond with any direct communication, despite you personally requesting so. To say I am disappointed by your behavior would be a severe understatement. You called me a liar publicly without even asking for the truth or farther clarification. My understanding is that you have jerked around your employees and generally treated them with very little consideration, especially Redacted. The horror stories I have heard about repeated employee reforms going unhonored to you.
Why does Saberspark have employees? Shouldn't he just have like one editor? Why does he need multiple employees? Was he running an LLC?
Requesting Redacted to move states for a project only to disregard it after he and Redacted moved shows me how little you really care about your friends/employees. I am also friends with Redacted's ex-partner as well, and the emotional stress you put both of them through via your carelessness is unacceptable and selfish. This, on top of your treatment of me when you were romantically/sexually interested in me, which I'm happy to elaborate on, combined
which I'm happy to elaborate on. Like, so what? You're just gonna be like, this guy. What's the twit longer gonna be? This guy was horny for me.
With your inquiries of hosting polygamous relationships with fangirls to employees is misogynistic, inappropriate, and disrespectful. To me, it seems,
dude, I never thought of it that way. Polyamory is really like just misogynistic.
That the only reason why you wanted to get involved is that your name was attached, and you're more interested in damage control for your brand than your brand's actual integrity. I feel like we wouldn't even be having this conversation if I was not another YouTuber in your space. I hoped that you could be a professional about this going forward, even though, frankly, you haven't been through this entire nightmare ordeal. But clearly, that is not possible. So, see you around, kid. Rachel/KP. Attached are the previous images I tried to send earlier since they didn't go through for some reason, not that you seem to partially care. And Saberspark responds to the email by saying, Hey Rachel, to start things off.
Oh my god, of course it's a fucking furry profile picture. What is that? Is that a lion? Is that some sort of feline cat? What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. You know what? I think Saberspark's guilty now. He's a furry. Instantly guilty.
off, I replied to on Twitter the way I did out of frustration due to the misinformation you have about me and how you were talking about me without ever contacting me directly prior. I'd imagine you'd feel the same frustration if someone had incorrect info about you, and you probably do with how some people went after you in the past with false information. I truly don't want to engage in internet drama that operates off of gossip, but the amount of misinformation you have is staggering, so I will set the record straight. I'll begin by saying that the information you have about me, redacted, is 100% incorrect and can be objectively proven false. Unfortunately, it sounds like Redacted has vented his opinions and frustrations with the conclusion of redacted people in his circle, but to say it was misinformation is a far cry from the truth, and I have the pay stubs and messages to back that up. I paid for his move, I assisted with his rent, I paid for his salary, and I personally packed up the U-Haul and drove him back to Redacted after we both mutually agreed to end our project. I offered to launch the collaboration at the time, Redacted. You probably didn't know that, but I have messages to back that up clear as day. Also, Redacted never moved, and I can have him testify personally to the fact. He's in a call with me right now. He currently works for me as one of my team leads, so if you think he believes he's been mistreated,
why the fuck does Saberspark need so many goddamn employees? I've seen his videos. They're not exactly complicated to edit. Saberspark has a cat. Oh, that's disgusting. Disgusting furry behavior.
I think you'll be surprised. Again, your information is incorrect, so if you plan on holding it against me, you need to hit the brakes or you will be called out accordingly. I take incredible care of my workers and pay them a living wage, and I'm ready to fight to prove that with my CPA and all of my receipts that I have for tax purposes. As far as you and me, I'm dumbfounded. We hung out and that was it. I'm not sure what you saw in hanging out with me.
What do you mean by hanging out, though? Because you hung out with the alleged victim, you know. What happened there?
But we just went our separate ways. Also, I have no clue about hosting polygamous relationships with fangirls. Not sure where you got that from, but maybe the same source that incorrectly said I mistreated Redacted. Again, I'm reaching out to them to wholeheartedly condemn that hearsay. All in all, I feel blindsided by your emails, Rachel. They reek of bad faith and incorrect information. How can you say that you came to me as an impartial individual? As far as Chris goes, I heard through secondhand sources, the ones you pursued via Redacted of his stupid joke, that Chris made amends with you and that was the end of it, only for me to get accusatory emails months later. You never reached out to me officially, so how could I know anything besides what Chris told me? Again, you're operating off of incorrect information and through secondhand accounts and people to build a bad faith case.
Fake news. You're operating on fake news
Against me. I implore you to wait and hear things out from Redacted. You have 100% objectively incorrect information that I can disprove through receipts and corroborated accounts. Finally, I do have a lawyer and I will gladly bring him into our conversation to clear the air if needed. Now,
goddamn. Bringing the lawyers in. Let's go.
That it has come to this degree of misinformation on your end, I will do everything in my power to clear the record for the truth, and that includes exploring legal avenues if necessary. I hope this information helps and convinces you to reconsider your position. Steven. And KP fires back with this
Oh boy, here we go.
email, starting with her saying, Steven, the main issue is Chris's conduct, and you have passed the allotted time I have personally given you to deal with the situation privately by not responding to any of my concerns in my first email, which I feel is ridiculous considering you had access to this information regarding Chris for a year, regardless of where it came from. If you are now going to sit there and threaten me with legality after this many private attempts at communication, I count 6 between my first email, the Twitter thread, and via mutual contacts, I will not be entertaining any further discussion with you after this last correspondence in cutting contact with you at this point. The reality is I am incredibly uncomfortable with the general approach in which your previous email and how your public correspondence have been addressed, as well as with you in general. So I will keep this as brief as possible. To add on to this I will fight you for the truth tone your whole last email and the Twitter thread is drenched in undermines the actual issues of
Dude, you gotta hate a lover's quarrel. So it sucks.
the conversation, on top of assuming I'm going to publish falsifiable information. Is that how you talk to someone who was treated poorly by a current employee in the past? Based on all of our previous conversations, forgive me if you are not at the top of the list of people who treat me with assumed respect. In regards to your response to my Twitter posting, your heated response calling me a liar and questioning my character publicly is unacceptable. How you were particularly feeling at the time doesn't justify calling people names and treating them poorly. As well, you could have DM'd me as requested several times or asked for farther information before responding in such a tone. When all I asked regarding this exchange is for you to apologize publicly for something you did publicly, you instead doubled down in your last message and tried to justify your feelings.
So the whole reason why I love Kim Possible and we just made the video was just because she fucking has a personal beef with Saberspark, which, you know, if you got personal beef with the guy, you know, you can make a video about that. But it seems kind of malicious when you're like, oh, I have beef with this guy. Let me make a video about like the SA allegations against him.
and only privately at that. That doesn't strike me as someone who is dealing with this situation with the utmost maturity, but a desperate attempt to distract from the actual issues and make yourself the victim. The fact that you are going about this route again after I had to prove I wasn't lying the first time is fucking deranged. Regarding your access to the information around the incident regarding Chris, and your insistence that I was the one who directly discussed the information about Chris instead of your general access to said information seems to be misguided. Do I have to directly tell you what to do with an employee incident of this scale for anything to happen? I shared the confirmation I had from both Redacted and Redacted that you had said information, which came off as indifference based on what I felt, as well as your correspondence to DA Games alluding as such, as well as there being a public safety report available with public contact information present for a year regarding the situation. So I don't understand how it is particularly relevant how you learned your employee's SH to someone in the past. It just matters that it happened. Even assuming you didn't know about Chris's actions up until the Twitter exchange, I still emailed you directly to discuss it before it reached this point, and you seemingly ignored that email and only responded to a second after my frustration became clearer. To be frank, it also doesn't matter how the perpetrator feels how the resolution went, but the fact that it happened in the first place is unacceptable. Chris is very obviously going to tell you whatever you need to hear to keep this job. It's alright guys, the criminal said the crime actually wasn't so bad after all. Hell, it doesn't even matter how I feel about it. Still, if you were so concerned with my personal opinion on the matter, to the point whether it would directly dictate your decision to keep Chris on the staff or not, I do not, for the life of me, understand why you didn't reach out to me, directly or indirectly, through our friends.
Dude, seems like Chris is a really bad guy. Hashtag not cool, Chris. Hashtag not cool.
Regardless, this isn't a joke, and your insistence as such is the underlying problem in this whole situation. How is it a fucking joke to say you finished on your boss's clothing and tell that to other men multiple times? It cannot and should not be belittled as just drama. Why would I have gone through the trouble of corresponding with DA Games or having a safety report be written if I just thought it was just a joke? I was and am worried about the children Chris and the greater DA Games community still have access to. Even if I had forgiven Chris for some reason, it would
Dude, it's like the Catholic Church. You just have unlimited access to children.
Wouldn't be relevant. Even still, you seem to show anger that I got Chris's confession on record in comparison to, you know, what he actually confessed to, with your comment stating, "Are you going to record the call without telling me the same way you did Chris?" To be clear, he is not the victim. Full stop. Neither are you for that matter, Mr. Truth Seeker. Publicly throwing the actual recipient under the bus and siding with the SHer just because he did not know he would be on the record as a safety concern, on top of being incorrect about your information, is one of the most idiotic parts about this whole ordeal. I felt it was very obvious that the intention was a recording for the public record, and a possible angle and interpretation of him being blindsided for a bad joke turned public only because I want to be a bitch and cause problems. It's just insulting and disrespectful on so many levels. Or, how you put it, publicly discussing half-truths to gain sympathy and slander your name. Additionally, the fact that I went out of my way to privately talk to you directly after several attempts to seek resolution with the staff and what I have asked on the Twitter thread, and still did not receive a response until sending a second email outlining my frustration, is just ridiculous. I then even provided additional proof of the racism and imagery that Chris and Will displayed. There are even incidents of
Listen, they had access to children, but they were also racist.
/P and sharing that material with minors, allegedly accidentally, in the document I linked, as well as Will dating a minor in 2015. This additional document has been publicly available for longer. The DA Games community server has had Ps that were quietly kicked out when discovered, instead of publicly acknowledged. One has a motherfucking mugshot on the document. Since this all seems to have gone ignored until now, on top of the safety report of the incident being publicly available for a year, solidifies to me my original assumption that you do only care when you have consequences for your lack of action. God forbid someone is a creep on my staff, just don't tell the public he works for me. Does it not seem like common sense to fire someone who talks this way about others, especially women, regardless of when it happened? Regarding Redacted, he has expressly asked not to be involved in any further discussion regarding this topic, and the comments about Redacted moving was a misreading on when I stated general mistreatment. I'm honestly upset you even shared the email I sent with him and your staff at large, and my general distaste of the situation in private communications were not an invitation for open discussion with your whole staff team, as my multiple DMs from others seemed to tell me. Additionally, Redacted were under the impression that they were going to be name dropping them in an upcoming video. I would never blindly and irresponsibly name drop full names of friends in a public video, but like everything else, you could have asked about that instead of assuming the worst and reporting such to them. How you communicated assumptions on what you thought is or was happening and shared that information has added to my reservations to continue discussing Chris or the situation with you in a mature tone, and
You
privately
gotta hate miscommunication. Miscommunication sucks so bad. Leads to long ass emails like this. Holy shit.
Villainizing me to our friends based on your personal assumptions is not acceptable. We can leave the other claims and general allegations I shared on that note, but I obviously still have opinions based on the information I have been told. In the interest of openness though, I am open to do an on-the-record three-way conversation between you, Redacted, and myself to get to the truth of the matter at a later time. But that will be at your discretion, as his boss and at his comfort level, as I want to honor Redacted's request to not be involved any farther and not emotionally distress him. At the very least, the mutual decision at the end of whatever project was in the works doesn't seem like that way to me. And on top of these social and emotional implications, I do not think you are seeing, and I have the right to those opinions. But bluntly, I will not tolerate the consistent implication of untruthfulness until this happens. Redacted can reach out to me in the future if he is interested and comfortable about a possible conversation. Lastly, as I do not want to get too personal, but it is absolutely laughable that you considered your romantic interest in me and our friendship ending as mutually parting ways. Like, what fucking planet are you on? Is that how you summarize every one of your failed courtships? Let me refresh you of the experience. After months of spending time together in person and your insistence that we were just friends, it was foolish of me to take you at your word on that in hindsight.
Dude, dude, it seems pretty consistent. He's just like, hey, handshake, friends. After being with someone, what the fuck?
Your goal seemingly was instead to spend time with me and see if I would change my mind and be open to a romantic relationship. In that time, I felt I had finally found a like-minded content creator and friend close and distant to me. I think I even said something along the lines of, these feel like dates. I'm just making sure we're hanging out as friends, right? After you grew distant, I felt
dude, she put him in the friend zone. That sucks.
Manipulated and pressured to say I was open to dating in order to not lose that friendship. To be 100% clear, I was never interested in you romantically in any capacity. You then dated Redacted
Damn, she said, you ugly as fuck.
Sister over me and had the question about my dating availability immediately after that ended. I tried to play it off but was uncomfortable with the whole situation. I guess. It felt like
Wait, okay, hang on, let me reread that. Then you dated Redacted's sister over me and had the question about my dating availability immediately after that ended. You dated Redacted's sister over me, but wait, I thought you just wanted to be friends with him. I don't know. I kind of read that as like she's upset that he dated the sister over her. It's kind of weird.
I was only important to you if I was dateable, and a backup option at that. Would I have been treated the same way as a new potential friend if I were male identifying? This was the whole reason I went to your staff in the first place and not you directly. I felt objectified by my direct experiences towards you and did not wish to repeat said experience for the sake of my own mental health, but you implied you needed the clarification. At this point, I feel exacerbated with the favor I have given you and others, personally and professionally, so I will be ending the conversation here. To remind you, I am not a third party in this situation trying to get a cheap and easy views off of a popular content creator. This is how Chris treated me behind my back. This is how he never owned up to those actions until I had to find out about them myself. This is how this behavior has continued. This is how the greater DA games community could be potentially harmful to children. This is on top of Chris's misogynistic, anti-Semitic behavior that I stupidly forced myself to tolerate when he worked for me, and the fact I have to sit here and fight and scream and kick for anyone to take this seriously.
If he's anti-Semitic, you know, he fit right in with Hassan's community, you know?
Is so
they might welcome him with open arms.
Emotionally draining, triggering, and insulting. This whole situation has been a nightmare, but I'm not going to sit here and let everyone else pretend it's just a joke out of public convenience. And I would bet good money that he is still on your payroll. I'm at a loss for words. Frankly, I do not have the patience or emotional bandwidth for your tone, your constant villainization, or to discuss this farther with you at this point, for your own perceived direct benefit. To be blunt, you trigger the shit out of me,
How long do you think it took
Steven.
them to write this letter? This is a long-ass letter.
And I still tried multiple times to communicate with you.
You think they rewrote certain parts at points? Like, how many drafts do you think they went through? I'm speculating this because it's holy shit, this is taking forever.
But ultimately was met with silence until now. You were screaming on Twitter like a child at me after months of trying to get any kind of internal word on Chris and the information being in the public eye, and you still haven't fucking apologized for any of it. What do you think that says about your character? On top of that, only then to even be taking it seriously because I might make a video and hurt other people's reputation really shows how me being affected by all of this really matters to the long run to you. SH, use of imagery. P, find a sweep under the rug. Just don't bring it up on Twitter. To be absolutely clear, do not contact me again or involve our friends in the matter farther. Ramses, you bring this upon yourself. Then Brony Fandones, the person who originally posted the allegations, tweets, wait a few hours, maybe less. And at the time of this recording, it has been about 10 hours since this tweet was posted. But continuing on, Angel Bell replies, you're cooked. It's just that simple. Probably best if you just stay off of Twitter until the heat dies down, rather than us having to hear a sob story and have you jump on people for saying, I told you so. The victim card is gonna go hard here. And Brony replies, you're jumping the gun. And the alicorn says, you clearly need glasses then if you don't know how to read. Brony then tweets out, I'm documenting your responses.
I'm documenting all your responses. Yeah, it's public Twitter. It's a pretty easy document. I don't know why. Is that supposed to be a threat? I'm documenting your responses.
And Bloombox replies, I don't even understand how you think documenting our responses even helps. And Brony says, people need to understand that they are reactionary and unreasonable. I don't want anyone being able to delete these posts and pretend they didn't make them.
Okay.
And Bloom says, I get the point, but I feel like focusing on the situation itself is more important than a bunch of responses of a bunch of random nobodies. Plus, she replies to Brony by saying, putting random people on blast because they rightfully criticize you for the way you handled this situation is not the one you think it is. Boosh replies to Brony by saying, document this. And it's this meme saying, blow me. And Brony says, I have documented it. And Boosh replies again, document my frog next, dude. Brony continues to tweet out when he says, I can say that neither me or Sophie were friends of KP. I know it's not the biggest problem, but it is an example of misinformation Saber puts out there. He also subtly defends Griffin again in his video. The bigger rebuttal will come soon. I think a lot of people who have been aggressively demanding no one condemn Saber without proof are now taking his word without any. He did not address the allegations, aside from saying they were fake. All it takes for his response to be null and void is one thing. Give me a few hours. If nothing happens, hate me all you want. I've said all that I can for now. In a few hours, what I can't now. I have never accused anyone on this account who didn't deserve to be. Then 8 hours later.
Well, hang on. I don't think Mike's watching anymore, but like, why does that sound like? I feel like that's that's close to like I ain't never shot like. I feel like there's a lyric in a song somewhere that's like I ain't never shot someone that didn't deserve it or something like that. Like that's how it reads.
Ant replies, so where is it? And Brony says, everything that was talked about last night that I thought was happening has been fucked up due to an intervening drama channel. I hope it's today. It was supposed to be this.
No, not the drama channels. Anything but the drama channels.
Morning. I'm trying, but it's not up to me. And Tato replies, how exactly is a drama YouTuber halting the information? If you have the details, just share it. You already screwed your position by promising it hours ago. Brony continues to tweet, I love Kimpossible a lot is a stain. I don't cover drama. I cover serious, worst of humanity problems.
Drama. You cover drama on Twitter.
Predators.
Don't pretend like you're better than us.
Bigots, those who support them. KP is, to my knowledge, not that, but has still put herself in a category needing to be treated the same. Give me time. I need to gather what I can, get permission for some of what I know to be put out if possible. I'm not trying to hype up anything. I'm trying to not say specifics without the information to go with it, but it's worse than any of you possibly know. Queen Caroline Moon replies, girl, what if IDW finds out you're making these false accusations? They'd fire you so quickly. And Brony says, no accusations were false.
No accusations were false. Oh no. Oh no.
And Queen says, then why keep doing this shit if you truly know you could lose your job? And Brony replies, because someone was Ard. Also, you're not speaking to who you're assuming you are. And Queen says, yet you're not an artist for IDW Comics? And Brony replies, no. And Queen says, if not, then why not try to apologize to Saberspark? Because I saw his response video and KP lying was really stupid. And Brony replies, because he's an artist. And Queen says,
whoa. Buddy, where? Oh no. You can't just say that. You can't just say that, Brony. It's bad. It's pretty bad, man.
Says, where's the proof? Actual proof. And Brony doesn't reply, so Ugly Barn says, the proof is me. I am the proof. At the time of this recording, Brony still has not put out a statement. Subscribe with notifications.
Oh boy. Oh well, I think looks like a day ago he uploaded. Internet Versus uploaded. But before we check that out, I want to see the I want to see Saberspark's response.
Her DM's like, give me a hug.
Sorry about that, guys. You know those Indian scam callers. Hello, we would like to talk to you about your insolence and why you owe the bank money. Hello, yes, we would like to talk to you about why you owe the bank money. But no, yeah, okay. We're gonna be watching Saberspark's response. It's 19 minutes long, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, guys. Super fun. Like holy shit. Holy shit! This is what he looks like. This is what the fucker looks like. I don't know why. The look is so fucking funny. I don't know why. I don't know fucking why. It's just so goddamn funny to me. Whoa, Brody Font is supportive of Lolicon? That's a serious fucking accusation, Mr. Gamer. I hope you have proof for that. Oh, holy shit. Holy fucking shit, man. Oh, I don't know. I just find Muda tried to phone scam you. It was Muda. It was.
Hello, I'm Stephen Carver, and I go by the name of Saberspark on YouTube. For the sake of transparency, I will be on camera for this video. I also have some notes over here I will be referencing for this response. Now, some of you may
Why does he kind of look like a skinnier Boogie? Oh my god, he's Boogie's long lost brother.
have seen the recent 2-hour video by the YouTuber I Live Kim Possible a lot. Putting aside what it was, which we'll talk about here in a moment, this video included her making some significant and sweeping accusations involving me.
I was trying to figure out what the look was. Another Steve?
Most of the comments I saw on the original upload indicated that many people saw this video for what it was, clout chasing, and it threw out very severe allegations in a really callous and reckless way. I appreciate that people out there are willing to question such things, and more importantly, share my sentiment that this is not the way things should be done. What was said was untrue, and it's disappointing to see people try to build themselves up by tearing others down. With that in mind, this is my response to recent allegations against me from the Twitter account BronyFandom and the YouTuber I Live Kim Possible a lot. Before I begin, I want to give a content warning for the following things on screen. Folks, this is a very serious video, so please continue watching it at your own discretion. To be clear, the accusation that I sexually assaulted someone is completely false.
Well, let's
and
see
I
your
feel
proof.
disgusted that I even have to say that. I've had sexual partners before in the past, but we have always abided by enthusiastic and reciprocated consent.
Enthusiastic and reciprocating consent. I love how he has to add the enthusiastic. Like they were just begging to fuck him.
The actual reality of the situation appears to be the result of what I believe to be a hit piece. From what I've seen, it seems that
I mean, it's not. I believe it's a hit piece. It is a hit piece.
P and a person by the username of BronyFandom were working together to push this story, and I have evidence to prove that. But more than that, what KP's video actually does is extremely dangerous. It hurts those who are truly victims out there, and this is not how you do things when it comes to people's lives. The following section will be about I Live Kim Possible a lot, my history with her, and what appears to be her attempt to falsely accuse me for her own gain. To make it easy, I will be referring to her as KP for the remainder of this video. I met KP in 2014. We lived in the same state and eventually became friends. This was mainly because we shared common interests, as we were both part of the...
Oh my god, he doxed her. He doxed her face. Also, that does look like someone who like Kim Possible, the redhead. Yeah.
Fandom, and we're both YouTubers as well. She came to me asking for advice on her videos and connections to go to conventions. At the end of
We need more nostril flares to really feel it, Jackwagon. Yeah.
2014, I started a new job and entered a new relationship with someone. For the next 5 months, I was extremely busy. KP would occasionally reach out to me, but I did not have time to hang with her. It was nothing personal, and we naturally drifted apart. 8 years passed, and in August of 2023, a friend of mine messaged me.
Yo, Reese, how you doing, man? How you doing?
On KP's
Everyone's favorite drag queen, Reese.
behalf. He told me that according to KP, one of the editors on my team allegedly did something inappropriate to her back in 2015. I immediately addressed this with my editor, and he told me that the matter was settled between him and KP. I took his word on that and assumed that KP would reach out to me directly if that was not the case. On November 12th, 2024, KP made a tweet where she was upset that Chris was still working on my projects. She then posted, "Video coming soon." On January 6th, 2025, KP emailed me demanding I take action due to Chris and what she claimed he did nearly 10 years ago. Due to a leaked call between Chris and KP, they recalled the full story. Chris made a sex joke in regards to KP, and she found out about it many years later. What shocked me was when
Wait, this isn't all about a sex joke? I mean, it probably was crude and inappropriate, but this is all about a sex joke? Hope you're doing okay, nerdy. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, we're out here streaming.
I was informed, this call was recorded without Chris's knowledge or consent. Chris profusely begged for forgiveness at the end of the call, and it looked like both KP and Chris ended on amicable terms, which matches what I was told by Chris when I initially confronted him about the situation.
Yeah, Chris, you want to say anything?
I guess I'd go first. Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Well, first, I think it's the obvious thing is one, just want to profusely apologize for that terrible fucking thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that, God, was an absolute horrible person.
Wait, okay, so like he made like a very inappropriate sex joke. Okay. I mean, it's understandable why she would be upset about it, but this seems kind of much. It's all
Person so many years ago, and you didn't deserve that. So,
All right. So I don't really have anything else that I feel comfortable saying at this point, but you know, I'll just leave with good luck and may God have mercy on your soul. And you know, this too shall pass. Okay, all those things together. Okay.
thank you.
All right. Well, have a good night.
IIRC was his joking, claiming he jerked off on the panties of a girl he was roommates with. Gross, 200%, but not life-ending. Very gross. I mean, not to downplay it. Oh, no, yeah, it's very... Okay, if that's the joke, yeah, it's very fucking gross, very fucking inappropriate, but, like, I don't know. To, like, spin it into, like, he's a Nazi seems kind of weird. Granted, he might be a Nazi. Who knows? May God have mercy on your soul. Makes her sound like a... Oh, okay. See you next Tuesday. Yeah.
And I think I'm going to limit my communication with you for obvious reasons, but
No, that's perfectly reasonable, and I understand.
In addition, after listening to this call, it appears KP was asking Chris intrusive questions in order to find more information about me.
So as far as your relationship with Saber, like, is it like, just so I know, is it something, are you guys like friendly, or is he just giving you kind of contract work and that's it?
I mean, I guess you could say it's both, but I don't have like long conversations with him because he's so busy. The most I ever see him is at conventions if he happens to be at the same.
Okay, this is kind of weird. Like, she's now fishing for information about Saber, which is kind of weird. The terrible fucking thing that's what people were vaguely saying their wrongdoings.
One.
Okay, so you know, you're not in an environment where this would have come up anyway.
Never.
So he would probably be unaware.
Never. He's 100% unaware. Like, again, I can't stress enough is that in the times I ever told the story, it was, as you described it, locker room talk with a very small amount of people in a private call. I never told it publicly, and I never, ever told it to anyone like Saberspark.
As far
I
as
don't know
Chris
why you would
goes,
share that information out to begin with. I certainly wouldn't share that information.
we took the situation seriously from the very beginning. The joke was inappropriate, but it was told nearly 10 years ago. He profusely apologized
Wait,
to
this
me
is a
as well.
10-year-old joke? This is all over a fucking 10-year-old joke. Are you fucking serious? God damn, man.
And admitted to his faults. I believe in the inner growth of a person and that they can change for the better. He did good work for the team. I was surprised, though, that KP thought she had the ability to dictate who I hire and fire for my own team. On February 5th,
I will say that it is fucking annoying. That's just like, hey, I think you need to fire him. I'm not involved in your team, but you need to fire him.
2025, KP emailed me again, but this time with false allegations. She claimed that I had, quote, jerked around my employees and generally treated them with very little consideration. She also claimed that I was, quote, hosting polygamous relationships with fangirls, which is as ridiculous as it sounds. On February 25th, 2025,
Yo, the cartoon guy, he fucks.
KP sent her final email to me. In it, she said, quote, to add on to this, I will fight you for the truth. Tone, your whole last email and the Twitter thread is drenched in, undermines the actual issues of the conversation, on top of assuming I'm going to publish falsifiable information, end quote. However, incorrect information and hearsay was included within the release video. She also stated that the reason she messaged my members of my team instead of contacting me directly was that I, quote, triggered the shit out of her. And at the end of the email, she told me to never contact her again. And
Saber
following
hasn't
that request,
provided one piece of evidence on his end. Well, yeah, neither has the victim, though. That's the problem with this, Mr. Gamer, is that it's a he said, she said story.
I never contacted her again. At this point, I was bracing myself for a hit piece video from KP, but I never imagined she would use false sexual assault allegations against me. I also noticed this particular Twitter exchange the day following KP's final email to me. Leading up to the release of KP's video, she was telegraphing her intentions and who they were against. She advertised a video schedule, a watch party, a YouTube premiere, and a slew of other posts in order to build up hype for her expose.
God damn, she was hyping this shit up. She was acting like it was a goddamn Super Bowl.
Bernie fandom was involved too, foreshadowing the release of the video on their Twitter leading up to the release. According to KP, the anonymous story would be posted on Twitter by Bernie Fandom at 10 a.m., with her video premiere about my false allegations 2 hours later. What was to follow
Dude,
would
they they were timing this shit out. They were planning everything. God damn.
Video that was not just tone deaf, but dangerously reckless with the lives of others. KP has gone on record saying that the video was originally intended for DA Games, but included me and the allegations a month prior to the release of the upload. The video itself was titled, What Ruined Saberspark in DA Games, and was over 2 hours long. It was primarily advertised as breaking the news of my false allegations, but the section in question was only 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. According to this interview with KP hosted by Slug Entertainment 2, uploaded on May 5th, 2025.
God, no. Slug is involved? And he interviewed he interviewed KP. Of fucking course, Slug's involved. What the fuck? This is fucking hilarious. This is fucking hilarious, dude. You find such like the most random of fucking references in this community. God damn.
Hosted by Slug Entertainment 2, uploaded on May 5th, 2025. KP admits that the story she featured was purely hearsay and had no substantiated evidence.
She admitted that on a Slug stream?
So just to be as objective as possible here. So what you're saying is that basically the evidence that you were given was more personal circumstance and hearsay rather
Correct.
than like
Okay, at least they admit it was fucking hearsay.
objective evidence.
Correct. They didn't have any Skype logs or anything because of how long it was ago, and we did ask. So
Were there other people that went in to verify these claims, or were there other attempts to verify the claims being made?
not to my knowledge.
Always got his sticky little hands in all the pots. He does.
I believe I don't know the history of Bonk's relationship with the victim itself. I don't know to what extent he knew about everything before the statement was prepared. But I do know that Amy was vouching for them, and that was also because I knew Amy was on or has been on the convention scenes. That's how she met. Peter knew her husband.
The video would be unlisted and eventually removed from KP's channel the same day of its premiere, following a massive public backlash against it. Apparently, based on the comments in the video, a number of the assets included and voiceover actors involved were allegedly not informed of the nature of the video being made, or had their work used without permission for video B-roll and memes. On Twitter,
okay, if you're just like including memes in your videos, you don't need fucking permission from the people who like are involved with the meme. That's so fucking dumb. I stand by that point. Already stated Skype wiped all their logs. Go to this section. Yeah. Well, no, it's just like because the logs are wiped, like neither side can prove that the other one's like lying. That's the problem.
I was ridiculed, with many people calling me a predator. This was due to the initial sensationalized traction of Brony Fandom's post. But then the post itself began to receive pushback due to public scrutiny over the alleged claims. Following KP's video, Brony Fandom began to backpedal, claiming that they never watched the video prior to promoting KP's upload. Brony Fandom would eventually throw KP under the bus in order to distance themselves from her video's backlash a few days later. So, what does this mean? As far as Brony Fandom goes, one of two things seem to be true. Either 1, they watched the video, approved it, advertised it, and now they're backpedaling because it did not go the way they wanted it to. Or 2, they never watched the video in the first place, yet they still endorsed it. Either option is reckless, irresponsible.
Yeah, his autistic fans are proclaiming he's innocent. Yeah, and his haters are claiming that he's guilty. What's the like? This is what happens with he said she said stories. People's biases play into a factor. You obviously hate him, so you think he's guilty, and his fan base is going to think he's innocent. But the problem is there's no proof that shows one way or the other 100%.
And speaks to a greater problem. By KP's own admissions, she does not like me, and I believe she holds a grudge against me after we had a falling out. Slug Entertainment's interview with her seems to demonstrate her malicious intent, and from the context of her video, it looks like it was done with a desire to use this drama to boost her channel's popularity. It was a hit piece, plain and simple, though she denies having a vendetta against me.
If you were to say that this is something that needs to be taken with the utmost seriousness, despite no evidence, would you believe that it would be fair for people to disregard it entirely due to the lack of actual evidence?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. I wanted to at least ask that, given the fact that these are serious allegations that can get Saber killed, because people are
Killed? What the fuck, Slug?
crazy, and I'd rather not have someone get killed over an allegation.
When has anyone ever, other than like offing themselves, when has anyone ever fucking gotten killed over these allegations like these on YouTube? I can't recall.
And that has not been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's fair.
At this point in the video, I want to talk about the Twitter account Brony Fandoms. This Twitter account has been purposely targeting me for a while now. By their own words, they believe that internet justice is more effective than courtroom justice. They seem to see themselves as judge.
By the way, such a dumb fucking tweet. Such a dumb fucking tweet.
Jury and executioner, and launch vicious harassment campaigns against multiple online creators, such as Billy Bustup, Prince Whateverer, and Black Griffin. Brony Fandom has on multiple.
This is the part where he like defends Black Griffin. Granted, I don't know a whole lot about the Black Griffin situation, but if, like, if a fraction of it's true, holy shit, man, I would not be defending him. Limp Bizkit said it best with this song. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit.
Multiple occasions use falsifiable information to attack people with. According to KP's post, Bernie Fandon was in her Discord server, and according to this person, they were allegedly friends. On May 1st, 2025, Bernie Fandon shared KP's false allegations against me. After public backlash for their post, Bernie Fandon was constantly arguing with people in the replies. Some people asked if he suggested professional organizations to the victim prior to reaching out to KP, and he said no. Many were inquiring about RAIN, and he had no idea what that was. At the time of recording this video, the post is still up on Twitter and has not been corrected, despite being false and unsubstantiated. Finally, I want to bring up Sophie Scruggs. She is a comic artist for IDW and is on record sharing the Brony Fandon account. She was friends with KP prior to the premiere of the video and even collaborated on other drama videos with her. She even makes an appearance in said video and talks to both KP and Courtney Pete. I believe that Sophie's involvement with the Bernie Fandon account is concerning and irresponsible. She seems to be more of a facilitator of moving parts and frequently replies to the account with her own main accounts. At the very least, we can confirm that she shares the account and has essentially co-signed what it posts. At this point, I want to talk about the state of Twitter, but mainly the internet as a whole. I have been on Twitter since 2012, but in early 2020, I noticed that the culture of the website had begun to change. It was more combative.
Okay, how is this important to your allegation story? Twitter sucks. We get it, man. We get it.
In an ongoing weaponization of online vigilantism. People who adopt a shoot first and ask questions later mentality in the quest to make a name for themselves without doing their due diligence. They would prefer to try to shape the world for what they believe the problem is, rather than actually assisting in the solution. This whole situation is a perfect example of how unqualified strangers can shoehorn their way into extremely delicate situations. Bad faith actors are rewarded for their digital tabloids and hit pieces. Without the right checks and balances, people can destroy lives with a single misinformed tweet. These aren't individuals who care about the well-being of victims.
Okay, man, we get it. We get it. Online vigilantism bad. I get it. Let's get to the final words.
Here. Despite the damage against my livelihood and my reputation, I am far more concerned about the reckless nature of internet justice. When people take justice into their own hands for the sake of engagement, clicks, and views, people can get hurt and it can destroy lives. There are consequences for those actions, and when
will you learn? Your actions have consequences. I'm sorry. His wording reminded me of that clip.
We have to take these matters seriously or more people will get hurt. There are actual victims of sexual assault in the world, and stuff like this detracts from those who really need the help. If you are a victim of sexual assault, there are tools you can use. File a police report. Creating a report is at least a starting point and creates a paper trail that could help others. It helps you to build a record for actual professionals to use for your aid and your own recovery. If you are a victim, I highly suggest going to rain.org for additional resources and support. It is a professional organization that assists survivors of sexual assault. There is also the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, plus other professional outreach programs and hotlines. We will link these sources and contacts in the description down below.
I mean, okay, so like, it's a good response in the sense that like he like just like makes fun of like KP's video and Brony Font, however you pronounce his username, the Brony's Twitter. But the problem is like the actual allegations themselves he doesn't really delve into, he doesn't really talk about. But and again, the problem as Neon referenced earlier, it's all about the he said she said bullshit. So like he didn't really like necessarily prove himself innocent. He just proved that KP and Brony were just bad actors. It's sounds like a dismissive, disingenuous as fuck cop out. I mean, the problem with something like this is obviously the people who are fans of him are gonna believe this, but like the people who are against him are not gonna believe this. I know, hot take. He was able to prove that KP was like a bad actor, but like the people who are against him already knew that is the problem. But apparently the Brony fandom has been freaking out more on Twitter as of an upload yesterday in Internet Versus. So we're gonna watch that, and that will be in the end of the stream.
Victim got in a call and planned for.
Okay, that's.
One of Saberspark's accusers, Brony Fandom, the original poster of the thread on Twitter that got millions of views, had an emotional breakdown on the site and subsequently on livestream after Saberspark.
Oh my god, that's right. They live streamed this,
released his
out.
response video. In the thread, he accuses I Love KP a lot of harassing the victim, also claiming that the victim will soon come out with their identity, revealing more information, before succumbing to a lot of the negative responses, crashing out on the website. This then resulted in him going live, walking around his city while crying and even at some points threatening things. Even replying to people on Blue Sky saying, quote, "When I'm dead, I want this post to be cited." Naturally,
oh my fucking god, so fucking dramatic.
People responded to all of this, like on the Saberspark subreddit, people were in shock, with others saying that they can't really feel bad for the guy. And Mr. Enter also put out a document about all the recent events, saying that he didn't really like Saberspark's response, and that he himself has also been in direct contact with the victim, and
dude, Mr. Enter, he's gonna solve everything.
He will be also making a video going over everything. Welcome to the internet versus Brony Fandom's Fallout. It starts when Brony tweets out, "I'm sorry. I was promised things would happen a certain way, and they didn't. They still aren't. I'm going to explain as much as I possibly can without exposing the victim. They will be coming forward. I just don't know when anymore." The night before Saberspark posted his response video, I Love Kim Possible a lot threatened the victim with a voice memo over Discord. Afterwards, me and the victim got in a call and planned for what to do about it. The plan was for her to come forward yesterday. Twitter will not let me upload this video no matter what I try, so it's on the better site. Then he attaches a link to Blue Sky with this 2-minute audio clip of KP attached. This is KP to the anonymous victim.
From my understanding, you shared a Dropbox file with Lazy, and your fucking name was on it. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's direct confirmation. So I'm at the point where my reputation is on the line because
my reputation.
You, and I feel like an idiot because of you, and you can help me.
God fucking damn. God damn. You weren't a good enough victim for me, so my reputation is ruined, even though I, the adult, decided to make a video based on shitty, like, he said, she said allegations. Like, okay, like, obviously, like, the victim didn't have, like, good evidence to present, but you're still the one who decided to make the video. What do you fucking mean? You're the dumbass here.
Me clean up this mess and get in a call and tell your side of the story, or this is going to blow up in your face, because people have already figured out it's you based on that mistake. And I'm fucking tired, because the things that have been pointed out to me is that you have your own platform. You know, people, you knew going in that people were going to figure it out. Maybe not this quickly, maybe not by your own mistake, but they did. And you can be an adult and help me clean up this mess.
You see, they were like, we figured out who it is. Just say the fucking name, okay? If it's that obvious who it is, just say the fucking name. It's so annoying that, like, they're keeping it vague, even though it's like, it's so obvious who it is. Just say the fucking name.
Or you can be a coward. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not telling you what to do, but you've put people that are in the video in a very difficult and dangerous position. And
you decided to make the video. That was your choice to make. What the fuck do you mean? You put us in a dangerous position. You put yourself in that position, motherfucker.
And I don't think you really understand that. And so I'm at the point where I talk to this guy Beckett, and he says,
"Oh no, Beckett! Oh Beckett! Oh, I love it when Beckett gets involved in this type of shit. It's so funny.
You have the chance right now to tell your side of the story in a call with me or with Lazy or with him or with someone, or people are going to villainize you. And that's where we're at. And none of like the things that have been pointed out to me doesn't make any sense. The timeline is questionable. The only people that vouched for you were Brony and Amy and Sophie, and Amy won't even.
So if it's so questionable, why did you make the fucking video? Not gonna tell you what to do. You sure sound like you're pressuring them into doing stuff, Chief. Yeah.
Fucking talk to me. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm being real with you. It's fucked. You're fucked one way or the other. So make a decision soon, or I will publicly confirm it was you. You have 24 hours.
Goddamn.
Back over to Twitter, Brony continues their thread. The context you need to know for this memo is that KP is attempting to threaten and gaslight the victim. She was accused of leaking the victim's identity to parties, possibly for revenge purposes. KP attempts to deflect the blame. Near the end of the video, KP implies the victim's story doesn't add up. She's full of shit. She wants to discredit the victim so she can claim she was used, as though that would make her video make sense. It wouldn't. In response to this, the plan was for her to come forward and present the information she couldn't share without revealing herself before. We didn't know Saber was going to post his video within that time, and it wasn't why plans changed either. Drama YouTuber Lazy Bedhead was in talks with the victim prior to Saber's video. Afterwards, the tone changed. She began telling the victim that the video would actually not paint her in a good light because of things Lazy heard about her. The things she said were not true.
I love how drama YouTubers are getting blamed all over the place, even though it's just like these people are clearly dumb. They don't know what they're fucking doing. Most people want to be, unless they are. What are you referring to there, Neon? What the fuck? Sorry, lost the plot there. What the fuck are you referring to?
Let me reiterate, Lazy Bedhead had the victim there to talk with, and instead of asking her about these separate allegations, she threw them in her face. The victim spent the next few hours proving her innocence instead of posting her story.
Well, apparently the alleged victim has like allegations of their own.
The victim is not doing well currently. I will be upfront and say, despite how they handled things so far, the victim still wishes to wait and see how the video turns out. After convincing them she really is a victim. I'm not outing them, but I'm also revealing a lot. I don't want to go against
She said the one guy was fucked. Oh, God.
their wishes. I've spent the last day talking with them, but everyone thinks I'm lying about our allegations. People are threatening to dox me, kill me. I'm losing friends who don't know the full story. I'm not lying. Neither is the victim. I think her coming forward yesterday, as we said.
I will say though, like obviously, if someone comes to you with a story like this, you want to believe them. But like this guy, a Brony fan don't. He's like so heavily in favor of the victim, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I think it is clouding his judgment a bit because again, there's no proper evidence unless I don't know what he's seen, but he's saying that the victim is like 100% telling the truth. So like I don't know if like Brony saw something that we haven't seen yet, but it is kind of weird just how much he's batting for her.
That was the plan would have gone even better due to Saber's response. He didn't talk about his allegations. Bringing forward information immediately after his response that it didn't respond, I think, would have been best. I don't want to see if Lazy makes a good video or not. She's already spread misinformation about me in her last video due to her lack of research, and now she's proven she's not a journalist at all. I don't want her—
Dude, when have drama YouTubers ever claimed to be journalists? We're not journalists, we're drama YouTubers.
or Courtney, KP, Op, etc., having power. The victim will come forward when she is ready.
Actually, my full title is Nerdy John, drama journalist, internet journalist.
With what she can provide. If you expect me to expose her identity, you are a fool. But I can't spend more time being the internet's punching bag. I don't know if this will change anything, but doing nothing was killing me. Once the big three are no longer a problem for everyone,
dude, the big three of anime,
I'm stepping away for good. I'm not doing anything for clout. You all suck. Saber said nothing at all, and you wanted my throat. I just wanted consequences. No one who deserves it ever faces consequences. No lies.
You know how they face consequences? It's by going to the police, you know. That's usually how people face consequences, because then they go to jail, and then, like, if they're convicted, they go to prison. I say those are pretty big consequences.
Is needed. Maybe the internet will actually fucking learn something, and Saber can be the reverse quite. My faith is at an all-time low.
Dude, he wanted the reverse quite so bad.
Though everyone needs to do better. You're not fucking animals. There are no witches to burn, only disgusting humans to distance from. Knights replies, to be honest, I hope KP does oust you both. You used an essay story to get revenge on some guy you had beef with. Pathetic. And Brony replies, what the fuck are you talking about? And Knight says, gonna say this, but get help. Did you screw up? Yes. Do you need to take accountability? Yes. Do you need to end yourself? Absolutely not. You fucked up. The end. Move forward with life. And quote tweets Brony and says, so now they're throwing Lazy Bedhead, who arguably sounds like the most responsible person in this story, under the bus because of their own continual screw-ups here. Because Lazy didn't want to cover this incredibly toxic story, Brony Fandom is just attacking Lazy. Holy shit. This is worse.
Lazy was like, I don't know if you got a case here. He's just like, fuck this person.
Than I thought. Lord AC replies to Brody by saying, what did you think he would do then? Meaning Saberspark. And how did him posting a video denying the claims throw a wrench in your plan? And Brony says, is anyone actually reading what I write? Silver has glitch quote tweets Brony and says, you've put others in danger prior, / pissed on real SA survivors, / throwing others under the bus to save your own skin, and you're surprised and horrified with how it's backfired now? But sure, keep acting stupid, abusing the block button, because that's surely helped you so far. And Brony replies, no I fucking didn't. Owen Harrington replies to Brony's original thread by saying,
dude, he's getting angry. He's getting angry.
Interesting how you're stating all of this after KP's video got intense backlash and was taken down. And Brony replies, no, dumbass. None of this happened until after.
Dude, he's doing the all caps reply now. He's really angry.
It's not a coincidence. It's the passage of fucking time. Rush the Cat replies to Brony by saying, here's the thing. You said nothing at all.
Dude, this is how you know, by the way, he's losing the battle, okay? Over 1,000 people viewed that tweet. Only 2 people liked it.
Of fucking time. Rush the Cat replies to Brony by saying, here's the thing, you said nothing at all as well, and wanted people to be at Saber's throat. People willingly defended the victim without proof of said crime. Saber lost support on things. Some fans dropped him. His life, name, brand is no doubt ruined because of this. You got what you wanted. And Brony says, he's an artist. I don't care if his life is ruined. I never asked anyone to have any reaction to him or the accusation.
Dude. That's the problem, is you keep making definitive statements like that when there's not a lot of proof. Brony Fandom, you gotta do better, man. You gotta do better.
At all. I even repeatedly said being cautiously skeptical is entirely fair. I promoted a victim story. It was the right thing to do. Kara Simpson replies to Brony by saying, so you're stepping away despite you having all the evidence in the world to back the claim? In other words, you fucked up, and you fucked up big. You deserve everything that's coming. And Brony says, you need reading comprehension. I'm not stepping away until after it's finished. And Kara replies, bit rude telling someone with special needs they need reading comprehension, so you are stepping away then.
Oh my fucking god. Actually, I am special needs, so you, sir, are being extremely rude.
Thank the lucky stars, because you've done more damage than good. Have fun inside for damages and slander. And Brony replies, you are causing harm with your misinformation. I don't know you. If you cannot properly talk about something this serious for whatever reason, then don't talk about it.
Dude,
and
I
Kara
love this
replies,
guy's
think
Twitter.
you better take that for advice, not anyone here. Average Chumbutt replies to Brony by saying, the biggest issue I have is Bonk trying to tell the victim not to go to the police. Bonk being another name that Brony goes by. To trust them with their internet justice sounds like a huge power play. Like Bonk wants the victim to trust them and only them. If there's really something, go to the police. And Brony replies, I never told the victim not to go to the police. Every fucking—
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You were talking about how the police wouldn't help and everything. What the fuck
person
you mean?
hears my words and spits out nonsense. Brony then goes on to make a separate thread where he says, this is what fucking happens when you speak out against you win, everyone.
God
I'll
damn.
shut up. I'll never do it again. Griffin would be fine if I didn't help. And that's because no one else fucking tried enough. And you'll make sure no one ever does again.
Dude, he took down Griffin and he's just getting big head about it. Now he thinks he can. Dude, everyone he goes against is a rapist.
Again. Saberspark art a girl, and you're all overjoyed to rip my throat out for him.
Okay, well, first off, man, we don't know exactly what happened. You know, it's a he said, she said thing. as you know, stated repeatedly. Unfortunately, you know, it's sucks. I wish there was definitive proof whether or not he was innocent. Unfortunately, there's not. So we just kind of have to be like, that's the guy with weird allegations against him that can't be proven true.
You defeated me. Congratulations. Lesson learned. There is no good in this world. People would do everything they could to destroy it if there was. Darktail replies, we just don't want to blindly accuse someone of a crime without evidence. People could literally get killed because of that. And Brony replies, you are doing it right fucking now. And Darktail says, I don't even—
Fries in the bag, little bro. Dude. I don't know. It seems like Brony's got a little too much free time. I think that's what it is. The problem is he's not putting the fries in the bag.
Know who you are, what you look like. No one is going after you unless they dox you. Brony then tweets out a Twitch account, Bonk6, and right before he went live, he also was on Blue Sky replying to Sai Scribble saying, look at that, 2 snakes fighting. And then Brony says, when I'm dead, I want this post to be cited. You fucking
dude, oh my god, you're gonna fucking blame a random Blue Sky user that you fucking did something you shouldn't? What the fuck, you coward.
Freak. However, to be completely transparent, this first stream is not super interesting. He doesn't really say much. It's just him walking around for about 25 minutes with the chat berating him or sending messages of support, such as Fluttershy, who says the guilt tripping has to stop, man. Peachline says a lot of people are worried for you. Twisted Metalcore says get off the internet.
You know it's bad when they're live streaming from their phone to Twitch.
For a while, bro. Ace of Shadow says he always does this. Some big allegations go wrong and he faked S for attention. What a loser, dude. Fua Bunny says if this is seriously fake and you were one—
well, okay, if he's had like previous stuff about this, right, where it's like it causes him to like go into a mental spiral, maybe he shouldn't be doing this stuff. Yeah, and Bowie has too much time on his hands, and look at how that went. No, dude, okay, Bo Blacks needs to just keep making videos. He needs to keep grinding, so that way he can pay for that Switch too.
Wanting attention, being S-Wool, then you are awful as hell. I know many others who are genuinely in a bad spot, S-Wool spot even myself, and if this is just for attention, then this is so disgusting. Aries says, please don't hurt yourself, especially not for Twitter users. Horrible website that doesn't represent society as a whole. And there's a bunch more that we'll skim over here later in the video when someone posts it all to the Saberspark subreddit. But more importantly, after they tried to go live on Twitch, their account was banned, which then resulted in them going live
on Twitter.
And quick content warning for what's about to be shown in this stream. It is displayed on screen. And on this Twitter live, there's a bit more interaction from Brony. He is walking towards a bridge. You can actually see what's going on outside now. At first, he is just sobbing while walking towards the bridge.
How old is this guy? Shit, man, you should not be live streaming this. You should not be live streaming your spiral into sadness. Like, I legitimately feel, like, jokes aside, I legitimately feel bad for this dude. He should not be doing this, man. Get off the internet. Don't be doing this. Okay, listen, we all gotta have a cry session. But don't make it public, man. Oh my god, what looks like oh my god, he had over 1,000 people watching this. Oh man. You should. Oh my god, Mike, no. Mike, no.
And then once he approaches it, he starts telling himself to just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. You need. Again, I have to ask how old this person is. Are they like in their early 20s, mid 20s? I hope it's not like a guy in his 30s. Because that would be even sadder. This guy needs, like, clearly he needs help mentally. You gotta go to a therapist, man. You can't not do it. You can't not do it. Someone should be able to cut the stream for this. Yeah. Bro, you're still alive? Yeah. Of course we're still alive. I just woke up. Nice, nice. Of course, you entered at a really depressing point because this guy who made allegations against Saberspark, he's now like live streaming on Twitter that he's gonna like jump. Imagine if he drops his phone and everyone thought he jumped. Oh my god, that would be fucking terrifying. Fucking do it!
Before the stream cuts
Okay, like imagine though, like you're in public, right? You're in public. You see this guy holding his phone, he's sobbing, he's just screaming, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it.
out, and then it comes back to him sitting on the ground where he was standing looking over the bridge before and just sobbing to himself.
Dude, this is just sad. And I saw some like what was it? Looked like over 2,000 people were watching this at one point. I can't imagine having like 2,000. Like, well, first off, I would love to have 2,000 viewers in general, but like, imagine having 2,000 concurrent live viewers and they're watching you having a mental breakdown. Dude, you gotta like turn the phone off of that.
There's no point in me not doing it. There's nothing to go
There's no point in me not doing it.
back to.
Come on, man. Come on. You got plenty to live for. Plenty of furry conventions to go to. Don't do this. People like this literally can't off themselves. It's all for attention. Probably. I mean, some of it's probably for attention. I don't know. I want to be sympathetic here. At least try. Just imagine like you're walking and you're like witnessing this like person have a mental breakdown in front of you. Also, judging by the leg, we can tell this person's kind of fat. Okay.
Now,
sorry, I had to fit a joke in
for
there.
a little
somehow.
bit of this, you can hear sirens approaching. It's unconfirmed if this was for Brony in particular.
Oh yeah, just imagine like that 911 call. 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, there's like this guy who's like he's got his phone out and he keeps like looking over the bridge saying, "Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it."
But regardless if this was a police officer or not, someone does approach Brony and ask him if he needs help before the stream then abruptly ends.
Oh, that poor pedestrian just trying to be nice, you know, trying to help someone out. Do you think Brony, after the stream cut and he was talking to this person, you think they explained like the whole like Twitter drama?
I'm Wade. You need some help?
Oh, look at that. They introduced themselves. Pretty nice. That's nice. Do you need help jumping? Jesus, Minna. Would it be inappropriate to play Mike's cover of Jumper? Would that be inappropriate? Oh, that would get the stream flagged. We don't want that.
You want to talk to me?
No.
Why not?
It's all for attention is a sickening statement, Minda. Well, Minda's a very sickening person, as you'll find out. Well, we love the Minda memes here.
I'm here to help. What's your first name?
Okay, I mean, good on this random pedestrian who I think if it was an officer, they would say, "Hi, I'm Officer First Name." Seems like it's just a random person who's trying to be helpful, and that's really good. You know, it's good to know that there are good people in this world still.
You got a lot of people coming to help you, man.
And then the Twitter post about them being live was deleted, and the Brony Fandom account replies to it by saying, Bonk is being admitted to the hospital. Thank you everyone who figured out his location and called for help. I've changed the passwords to this account in the meantime to ensure he gets a break from the onslaught of death.
Wait, who's in charge of this account now?
Threats. I've been trying to avoid this Saber situation as it is highly triggering.
If I saw this guy crying, I'd say, no way, don't kill yourself, you're so pretty.
For me, and unlike the BG situation, I don't have a ton of knowledge on it.
Okay, Mr. Gamer, Midna doesn't actually want that to happen either. Midna's just being edgy. Let's all calm down. Let's all calm down.
I want to be able to
remember, this is an internet podcast comedy show. Okay, we're not meant to take things seriously here.
To contribute productive information rather than just yell. So please give the victim time to respond. S. I'm logging out again. Then throw away posts on the Saberspark subreddit. Be better, don't harass, don't bully. Downvote me to hell all you want, I don't care. But I'm extremely disappointed in Saberspark's fans right now. I had never thought Saberspark had an audience that would be horrendously cruel as to send death threats and wish harm, but I clearly thought too highly of them. Yes, it was unwise of Brony Fandom to send the alleged victim to KP of all people to make a video. And yes, they could have handled the Twitter account much better than they did, but that doesn't mean you go harassing someone to the point of them wanting to end themselves. I cannot even imagine all of the threats.
Well, it's like, how much of it is actual harassment and how much of it is actually people just like giving them their opinion, right? Because like, unfortunately, especially when you're so hot-blooded like that, where you're just like declaring tweet after tweet that Saberspark is like a rapist. Yeah, people are gonna like push back on that. To be fair, the community is full of trolls, but the ones that try to lighten the mood, yeah, exactly. Midna's one of those people that like lightens the mood.
Into their inbox because they did have DMs open. And to anyone who's saying, oh, they're just S-baiting, you're either an a-hole or did not watch the stream. I myself have been S-wol, and I cried watching it because I have been in their position before. It was real. This goes for every person involved in this mess. Don't harass or bully anyone, please. And they attached the tweet saying he's been admitted to a hospital that we already read, along with a tweet from Sophie that says, for what it's worth, Bonk is so upset because he has more info to
I mean, look at Hassan. Any criticism is harassment. True.
share and is getting harassed by people just blindly believing he is lying. He hasn't said more because the victim isn't ready yet. She's been ill from the stress of all of this. Have some grace regardless of your opinion, please. And then at Twitch chat messages from DZ who says, I don't give a shit if this artard ends themselves over false horse famous celebrity allegations. Sounds like a skill issue. And Ace of Shadow saying, good luck having anyone believe you in the future with this shit. And Reaper Rose replying to Aries saying, and they show no proof either.
Man, they're really going into this guy.
I'm saying, I don't care if they're S-baiting. Bonk really needs someone to get them out of the internet because they're clearly unstable. While Mega says mean, MP Sai says this dude refuses to take a scrap of accountability and S-baits on social media. Frosty Coyote says uncover the camera. Force Smooth says I hope everything will be alright. Ace of Shadow says this guy is just baiting. He's on the sidewalk. He's fine. Orange Jet says the situation was handled terribly, but S is not the answer. And Uwu Step and says no matter what they did, there are people calling for his S. That is never okay. While Mega says attention-seeking freako, ruin a man's life, now it's all about you. Then they attach a tweet from Sinna Serena that says, imagine having a melty because you couldn't ruin someone's life without evidence. Please don't delete your account when you're out of the hospital. You're the funniest clown on the internet right now.
God damn.
James replies to Brony saying, and to stay out. Ugg says, effing artard. Samuel Booker laughs, saying, what a loser you are. Good riddance. False accusers and the people who blindly support them deserve all the hate you get. Drink some gas and smoke an effing cigarette. Literally.
God fucking damn, man. God damn.
All you had to do was post the proof and you couldn't even do that. Vam says is the reason people applaud karma. Just desserts. I don't feel bad at all. Everyone likes when someone gets what's coming to them. That's you included. Max Mad says you got the audience you wanted so badly. And Mago Tago says, fuck you. Another post from Vam saying, there's a reason you never hear about people committing S on live stream or filming it. It's a deeply personal act. The only reason he went live was to harbor sympathy and seek attention. Going live isn't something an S person thinks of doing in the midst of ending it. Scooby doing.
Oh yeah, it's usually a very, private. It's usually a very private thing. Now I think you can to put a spin on it, I think you could probably say maybe he went live as like a cry for help. You know, like he didn't actually want to do it. So like he went live so that way people would be like, no, don't do it. But it's, I don't know. It's one of those things where like people could argue that it was like attention seeking. The whole going live thing is what gets me. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. There are there are times where it's just like there are people who are like depressed, right? And like so like they go live and then they're just like, I don't want to fucking go live. Etika fucking filmed his suicide, but that wasn't for attention. Etika Etika filmed his mental breakdowns. I remember that. There's shock value to that, manipulation, and putting it on people, quitting people.
Ming says, I laughed when he got what he deserved. I mocked him when he showed he had no proof. It was funny and it was warranted. A dumb kid threatening to end himself because people with cartoon avatars mocked him is just sad and shows how truly lost a person is. Logan Williams says there's nothing
I will say, I think, no matter what your opinion is, I think Brony Fandom has too much investment in the online world, which is, I know it's funny coming from me because considering how invested I am in online stuff, but clearly like this affected him deeply. Like there's a certain separation you need to have with the internet. I have that. I think for the most part I have that. I think I have that good separation as to other online creators in this space, but people like that, you know, they take internet stuff too personally. And I get it, essay is a very serious topic, but like the fact that they involve themselves so deeply is very concerning.
To wait for, little bro. These people are clearly lying and can't take the L. Now they're trying to S-bait to gain sympathy from people. Lily Rose says, shut up, you artard, go disappear in the woods. Indy Lara saying, get fucked, poser. Dragul Greg replies, dude, it's really hard to feel sorry for someone who tried to paint another as a vicious predator and then proceeded to double down on it when it was proven false. Like, of course, no, nobody really wants.
Why don't they? Again, it's not necessarily been proven false. It's just KP's video was so bad he was able to dunk on it. But he never really addressed like the actual like allegations themselves, because again, it's a he said she said story, so there's no definitive proof whether or not it happened. So it comes down to whether or not you still like Saber. If you like Saber, you're gonna believe he's innocent. If you don't like Saber, you're gonna think he's like guilty of everything.
Wants them dead, unless you're chronically online. But you can't just do something like what they did and expect to walk away unscathed. Instead of trying to put themselves away forever, they should consider some inner reflection, to be honest. Electrifying Seer says, no one should be harassed like this, but he did incur some wrath onto himself. People are very angry right now because he tried to ruin somebody else's life and livelihood. It's an eye for an eye with this. It's not right to harass him, but it was never right of him to step in and support a liar with no evidence. The punishment here does not fit the crime, as everyone telling him to die and saying slurs is really fucking bad, and I think it would be better if everyone who is angry with him just blocked his account and stopped engaging. Nihility is better than hostility. Midnight Morper says, look, I don't want Bonk to end himself and all that, but frankly, I can't feel sorry for him when he's legitimately screaming with his full chest, Saberspark is a P and you're all protecting a P. I did nothing wrong. Mr. Enter tweets out, an update on the Saberspark situation.
Hello, let's go. Mr. Enter entering the ring yet again.
So, in the past week, a lot of stuff has happened in regards to the Saberspark / I Love Kim Possible a Lot situation. I wasn't going to say anything ahead of time, but with what has transpired in the previous couple of days, and really among this whole event, I think that it is important to say some things preemptively, and a lot of people are curious about a lot of things, so I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. There are many things I practically can't reveal, and other things I do not yet have the permission to reveal. Yesterday, as I write this, one of the two users who run the Brony Fandom accounts, Bonk, streamed what appeared to be an attempt on their life. First on Twitch, and as the Twitch account was banned, they tried on Twitter. They were found, and according to Sophie, who also runs the account, they've been admitted to a hospital. They are currently alive as far as I'm aware. The impetus of this does seem to be caused by a lot of generalized harassment, and it must be said, it doesn't matter what you think of any of the people involved in all of this, outright harassing people is never called for. Even if you believe the worst of I Love Kim Possible a Lot or Brony Fandom or the Accuser, or even Saberspark, just flaming them with death threats on Twitter is not productive at best and detrimental to anything you're trying to do. Do not fucking harass people. I have my own criticisms of everyone involved.
Well, it's again, it's one of those things where it's like, what's actually harassment and what is just people criticizing him? Because like the problem is when you're like in a, I'm not saying Saber's right, I'm not saying he's wrong, but when you're in a situation where people perceive that you are in the wrong, of course you're gonna get a bunch of people saying that you're a fucking idiot for doing what you did.
but do not fucking harass them. I have seen Saberspark's response to the whole thing. In my personal opinion, it's not a very good response video. He does address the biggest allegation, but only barely. In my personal opinion, it looked to be the first step in setting up a defamation law.
You know what I'm gonna do, Minna? I'm gonna film mine, and I'm gonna say, and like in the background, it's gonna say this was Minna's fault. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Lawsuit towards I Love Kim Possible a lot and Brony fandoms more than anything else. I don't know if Saberspark could win a lawsuit, but in the United States, generally speaking, the phrase is you could sue anyone for anything. I personally believe he will at least try, but we'll have to wait and see in that front. I have also noticed that Saberspark mentioned Black Griffin in the video. The accuser is, at very least, a real person. This is not an allegation that KP or Brony fandoms conjured up from thin air. It comes from a human being that is not KP or Brony. They are a real existing person, and I have
please do, nerdy. Oh my god. Minna would be like, yes, I caused this. Like they're just like in a like their evil lair with their cloak on. They're like, yes, now let me make art.
spoken with them personally, voice
Not the game over emoji.
call and all. They do exist. I bring this up because a lot of people seem to believe they simply don't. I know exactly who the accuser is. I will not reveal them to the public without their express consent. Speaking of which, I have seen the Google Doc. My only comment on this is that, to my knowledge, no one on the investigation team had anything to do with it. I do not believe that KP or anyone else assisting her wrote it either. I will have to address the long Twitter thread that Brony Fandones released yesterday. Due to the circumstances, I'd really rather not, but I don't want misinformation to spread. I tried to contact them on Discord as I noticed it, and Phineas has tried to contact them on Twitter, but at present, neither has gotten back to us. At this point, for what should be seen as obvious reasons. The thread is mistaken about many things. For some reason, Bonk believes that Lazy Bedhead is making the video. She's not. I am, and we've made this.
I mean, Lazy Bedhead could also be working on the video. Mr. Enter, you're not the only one involved in this situation. Technically, I'm making a video right now because this is going to be a stream highlight. A very long stream highlight, but a stream highlight nonetheless.
Clear to the accuser repeatedly. It was literally one of the first things that I told to the accuser, and it was said again to the accuser on the night of the 12th, so I'm not aware how that miscommunication happened. The only theory is that in the KP message she mentions Lazy and not me. From my understanding, you shared a Dropbox file with Lazy and Lazy. We did do a background check on the accuser when we discovered who they were. There were 2 talks with the accuser directly, one with Lazy Bedhead alone, and one with myself, Phineas, and Lazy Bedhead on the night of the 12th. Being described as having the allegations thrown in their face is simply wrong. We talked about them. We got the accuser's side of the story. They were able to provide receipts, and while many of them still do need to be verified, they were at least amicable to discussion. We talked about many things, including Saberspark's response video. Yesterday at night, the accuser did at least message us when we checked in on them. I have no comment at this time on KP's voice message to the accuser. I will only state that we also received this message from the accuser during our call, and have confirmed the accuser did not want the message released publicly. Yes, I have seen Casey Fish's message to Rachel, I Love Kim Possible a lot. I will comment on it in the video. Yes, I have seen the full unedited call between Chris and I Love Kim Possible a lot that sparked this whole entire thing. I will also comment on that in the video. Once again, do not fucking harass anyone.
Basically, Mr. Enter's like, yes, everything involving the drama, I will comment on.
And I Love Kim Possible a lot didn't vet a story/accuser. There is no reason to issue them death threats, even if you believe that a Saberspark is innocent, especially before the dust has settled. A lot of people harass the accuser's Twitter burner account. This is also a fucked up thing to do, even if you think they are making it up. Until that dust settles, and even afterwards possibly, there's always a chance that they could be telling the truth. I do not believe harassing Saberspark is the correct course of action either. If you believe the worst of him, the correct course of action is justified criticism and walking away from his content, not to death threats, cyberstalking, etc. This investigation is taking longer than anticipated for various reasons. I do not want to make any mistakes with my final judgment in the final video. Because I need to eat, I will be doing my usual work on the side, and I would not expect this investigation video to be the next one that I do at any rate. GameCat replies, with all due respect, there wasn't much for Saber to address in his video. The accusation lacks any publicly available evidence. Maybe you've seen it, but the rest of us haven't. As such, the only response he needs to give is, it's not true. No more, no less. Willie says and remembers.
But that's the problem, is that like, because it's like, because there's no evidence, she's saying that he did it, he's saying that he didn't do it, but like it's just who do you believe at that point, you know? That's the problem.
only Discord. This guy is clearly not mentally capable of bringing forward serious allegations when he immediately S-baits, cries harassment, and shifts blames to others like KP when people bring forth reasonable criticism that would knock the validity of these claims. While KP did do a horrible job at bringing forth the allegations, this guy is at this point worse, because at least KP took her video down when people called her out. Fandont has lost credibility because of his schizophrenic reaction to criticism and is now failing to S-bait. Absolutely pathetic. Now I'm sure there's a bunch more updates that are going to come out about this whole Brony Fandont story. I doubt this is going to be the last we hear from them, especially if the victim themselves is going to reveal their identity. So subscribe below with notifications on so you don't miss any future updates. Shout out to our tier 3 members, Internet.
All right. Holy shit. Holy shit. We were covering that story for over 3 hours. All right. Final thoughts. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. It's a messy situation with people who are very, very passionate about what they believe. My personal opinion is, fuck everyone involved. Because, like, there's, like, you can't, like, no one can prove their side of the story definitively. And that's what's really annoying about this. I'm sorry, but, like, unless you have definitive proof that, like, something 100% did in fact happen, I can't say one thing or the other, you know?